All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. You guys are well today. You can see the market bouncing back pretty nicely all the way up to 396. A huge green day in the market yesterday, which is nice to see. Big range. Market pushing up pretty strong this morning. Looking at the news that's out today. All right, so the U.S. Office of Comptroller of the Currency approves Flagstar Bank to purchase assets and to assume certain liabilities of Signature Bridge Bank. So SIVB buyout. You can see Credit Suisse is down there too. Put that up on screen. We also have Canadian CPI today. So we got Canadian CPI. What's up, Raphael? No, the Fed meeting's tomorrow. Hey, what's up, Emmanuel? Good morning. All right, we're going to do a poll today. A lot of green action in pre-market. So does the market in green today? Yes or no? We also have GameStop earnings we're going to be streaming later on today. I'm seeing bankers with knowledge of FRC situation says the stock slide after other bank shares have rebounded has increased pressure on executive to find a buyer. So I don't like FRC at all. I think there's risks in FRC. Looks like they're struggling. TD Ameritrade, AZ. What's up, Beach? What's up, Pawn? What's up, Snow? Good morning, man. But yeah, the Fed meeting is tomorrow on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Whew. Let me wake up a little bit. I'm drinking my coffee. It's 5:15 in the morning. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, market's right around 196. All right, guys. All right, guys. So yeah, 396 is here. Tesla at 185. So I'm looking at other news here, and again, we can kind of see that bankers with knowledge on FRC say that the stock going down after other bank shares have rebounded. So like other banks have essentially rebounded back up, but FRC is still struggling. If you look at it, it's down to $15 a share. They said that has increased the pressure on the executives to find a buyer for the company, according to FBN's Gasparino. So that's kind of what's going down for this one right now. With who, Gabby? What's up, Beach? Yeah, DS. What's up, man? Oh, man. Do you think Bed Bath & Beyond will squeeze, man? I really don't know about a squeeze potential in Bed Bath & Beyond. I think it could, but I also think it could not. You know, I think Bed Bath & Beyond, what I do know is that, like, it's probably kind of risky sitting into it. And I'll explain why. All right. Because Bed Bath & Beyond, regardless of its squeeze potential, all right. And I want people to really listen. Like, please don't just hate me because I'm saying this. Like, I think that's one of the most silly aspects of trading culture right now, where they just shame anybody that talks bad about the stock without actually looking at fundamentals, which are the most important thing for any company. All right. The problem with Bed Bath & Beyond is that when you look at the business model specifically, it is almost certainly going to go out of business within the next 10 years. Like, almost certainly. Like, nothing they sell is unique and not sold on Amazon. Nothing they sell at Bed Bath & Beyond can you not get shipped to your doorstep within a day on Amazon. And so that makes it a really hard pitch to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. You know, and in that regard, it's going to make their sales dry up more and more and more as time goes on. Nobody needs to use them anymore. And honestly, I've been to Bed Bath & Beyonds, and nobody's ever there. Nobody's ever there. Like, they're empty. The stores are empty. And so buying that is just, it just seems like a risky bet. Again, maybe it ends up working out. Sometimes high risk can be high reward, you know, but like, for me personally, I'm just not touching it anymore. I cut it a few months ago. But even that's a little bit misleading because, like, I wrote it up on the squeeze that it had last time, and then I sold it when I should have. And then I held a little piece that ended up just kind of breaking down. Yeah, I feel you, Raphael. Yeah, I don't know about a short-term squeeze, though, brother. I really don't know, man. It could. It might. I don't know. Uh, Whew. I found your channel with the Bed Bath & Beyond saga. I'm still into it. Hey, nice, man. Yeah, like I said, though, I sold when Bed Bath & Beyond was, like, popping up. Like, again, I don't have any qualms about, you know, staying in something that I shouldn't, you know. I cut something fast if it's like that, you know what I mean? Since I found your channel, I bought Disney. Hey, again, nice work, bro. You know, again, I think trading is really important to kind of weed through the sensationalism of stocks, right? I think, you know, you're going to have certain stock communities. You're going to have certain stock communities that just push garbage on people. And like, I might trade garbage, but I'm never telling anybody to buy it, you know? And so I'd rather just be real about it and you know, let whatever happens, happens. Hey, thanks, Mark. What's up, man? Canadian CPI drops today. We do have President Lagarde speaking at 8:30, and we can stream that if you guys want. If you guys think it'll be worth it, we can stream that. All right, guys. Tesla popping up is at 185.60s. So look at Tesla, man. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. How you doing? Should be an interesting couple of days. I think still going to be 0.25% rate. Hopefully they don't pause or cut. Inflation is bad. Yeah, I think they'll probably do 25. I think it's still probably pretty likely they do 25. I think especially with the bounce backs that we're seeing now. Like, I think if we didn't bounce back and the market stayed weak leading up to the rate hike decision, I think they would consider zero a little bit more. But I think with the market strength and SPY being basically back to 400, you know, I think they're still probably going to do 25. At least I hope they do. And I think this is good because it'll be less of a surprise. I think if they did 25 when the market's weak, I think people are going to panic. But yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC, basically anything pumped is filled with fake pumpers holding a bag. Trust me, once they break even, they won't. Yeah, 100%. That's what like, I've seen this happen so much with stocks lately, bro. So much with stocks lately, dude. It's genuinely kind of surprising. Because like, because to be honest, let me think of the most delicate way to put this. I think people get talked into a lot of nonsense, you know, and I think sometimes confirmation bias is so strong. I feel like, okay, I'm gonna I've thought of a way to put this. Okay, I think sometimes humans who maybe don't feel like they're a part of anything, that desperately want friends maybe, or they want to feel like they're a part of something. I think sometimes those specific people are a little bit more gullible and fall for tricks and fall for nonsense and are a little bit more influenceable, if that makes sense, right? And so I think sometimes like those type of people get talked into buying up stocks, right? And they do it not because they necessarily believe in the stock, but because they want to feel like they're a part of something, And I don't think I think when you buy a company, you shouldn't need to feel like you're a part of some big community related to that company. I think that ultimately causes people to come in and just manipulate you. And I think there's a lot of people pumping up garbage, just straight garbage stocks. Like, these stocks are never going to survive. I've been telling people about penny stocks failing for years. People come in here, try to pump the same stocks. I'm always like, hey, those suck. Those stocks are garbage, and then they stop. People realize quick, if you bring up a penny stock to me, if it's not strong, it's about to get crapped on over here, because that's what it needs, because it's garbage. And I'm going to tell people it's garbage. And I think people need to hear it's garbage, because if they don't, they start thinking they're Warren Buffett over here investing in penny stocks. And I promise you, you're not. If you're buying up garbage penny stocks, it doesn't matter how nice your portfolio is, you're probably losing money. And I think that's an objective thing. I think it's obvious. I think, most penny stocks are going to fail. Sure, you might get lucky and hit a biotech company that ends up doing positive trial results and goes up short term. But like, a large majority of the stocks are going to fail. Who cares about the community? If the larger the community, in fact, the weaker the stock probably is, because what builds those communities is stocks going up and then dumping on you really fast, and then having a bunch of day traders turn into investors because the stock fell on them so quickly. That's what ultimately happens, unfortunately. But yeah. Yo, John, you mentioned kefir helps with skin problems. Do you drink it or leave it on your face? I was going to recommend that tip to my daughter because nothing works for you. Yeah, kefir has basically, it's not completely gone, but it's basically gone, and it basically stops it. So what helps, and my theory on kefir is that it forms a barrier. I think sometimes it could be on your pillow, it could be on your bed, it could be something causing the redness on your face. It usually appears overnight. And so regardless of whether it's something on your bed that causes it, if you're talking about what I have, which is perioral dermatitis, But for whatever reason, I think kefir, I put it on before I go to sleep, and I let it dry first, because if you let it dry, it doesn't really stink or anything like that. Like it's, it just kind of forms a barrier. Um, but I put it on my face and I let it dry before I go to sleep. And I also drink it. So I do both. So I drink it and I put it on my face. Um, but my guess is that whatever's aggravating my skin in the middle of the night, when I put kefir over it, it forms like a barrier over the problem spots on my face, And so by doing so, whatever's bothering my skin can't get to it, because there's this barrier of kefir on my face. And it also helps with just the natural healthy bacteria on your face. But yeah, so I put it on my face before I go to bed, but I let it dry. And then I also drink. I drink it when I wake up, first thing when I wake up in the morning, and it's the last thing I drink before I go to sleep. I might be wrong, but it seems odd that Bitcoin would rally in this ambivalence. Not really, bro. You got to understand. Okay, here's the logic of it. All right. Historically, what was the hedge against fear and inflation and a lot of other things, right? What was the hedge against those things? It was gold. Gold was the hedge against inflation. It was also the hedge against fear, right? And so people would gravitate towards gold whenever they were worried about the market in general, as a hedge. So people would get scared by gold, basically. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is online gold. Like, that's what it's been labeled as, and that's kind of what it is. What they mean by online gold is that it's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against fear with banks. And so when problems like this happen with banking, it's a natural consequence to that of people running to gold, online gold in this case, which is Bitcoin. And so that is the reason Bitcoin is pumping up over the last couple of days, because banking has lost a lot of confidence, and Bitcoin is essentially a DeFi version of that. Hey, what's up, MS? Hey, good luck, bro. Just be careful. Yeah, for sure. Aku. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my gut health is super important. Honestly, man, I had I used to have really bad stomach problems, like really, really bad, dude. Like, I couldn't eat anything. I'd wake up nauseous. My stomach would quease every morning. Like, it was just terrible. I started drinking kombucha and kefir, and like, it's gone now. Like, my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. I could eat whatever I want. I could literally eat whatever I want. I've been eating tacos, and I've been eating birria tacos and enchiladas for the last week straight. Mexican's my favorite type of food, for sure. Yeah, sugar. Honestly, the other big thing, Snow, is sugar, brother. You got to lay off the sugar, or she's got to lay off the sugar, man. Sugar, for whatever reason, the more sugar I eat, the more processed sugar specifically. I could eat as many fruits as I want and stuff like that, but the more processed sugar. Here's an example. I went to the mall last weekend. I went to the mall last weekend and I got a bunch of Cinnabon. All right, and I came home and I ate that Cinnabon, and the next day when I woke up, my face was super red, super red. All right, and so since then I basically stopped eating processed sugar. Processed sugar is terrible for you. Just absolutely terrible for you, and it causes a lot of problems, including skin problems. And so if she really wants to get rid of it, just tell her to stop eating processed sugar. It'll go away almost overnight. Yo, bro, how can I DM you? I'm from Europe too. I'm frustrated because I can't buy SQ. Yeah, for sure. And I love ice cream too, bro. Like I love ice cream too, man. You know, but that's the point, is that it's hard, dude. But if she, again, I'm not saying what to do. I'm just saying, like, if she gets rid of sugar, it's gonna get better overnight. All right, guys. SPY up to 396.50s, broke highs again here. Market is flying up. A lot of people regaining faith in banking, I think, today. Interesting how Bitcoin's still pushing up, though. That's odd. I'm not mad at it, but interesting. But Bitcoin up to 396.50 here. Bitcoin up to 28.3 thousand. We did a poll here asking people if the market is green today. 63% say yes. The SPY is very green right now. Where's the previous close? Let's look at this. All right, so previous close is right around 393s. So we're at 396 this year. So the market is very green today. Yeah, the market was mostly choppy yesterday. It popped up a little bit, but it was mostly sideways. It looks like me getting out was the right move. The market yesterday, I lost a little bit, but we're up to 396.50 for a split second here. Tapped it. Over 396 is good, though. I mean, I think this is strong. Tesla looking strong. There we go. We got the 200 EMA. Me? Raphael, you want me to DM you, bro? Are you asking me to DM you? Yeah, just message me on Twitter. Is the easiest way, bro. Yeah, do shadow. Well, I can't promote it personally myself, Shadow. So you're gonna have to. You can just message them on Discord, bro. Join Discord is the easiest way, and then just message each other. SPY at 396.50s. Tesla at 185.80s. Yeah, all good, Rafa. Yeah, no worries, man. But yeah, the easiest way is just message each other on Discord. Y'all do me a favor, hit the like button while you're here as well. All right, guys. SPY still over 396.50s here. CPI for the US came out, what was it, last week? for CPI. I want to say it was like the 13th or 14th of last week. So it came out last Monday or last Tuesday, I think, actually. So I think it was the 14th. Hey, what's up, network? Hey, good morning, man. What's really nice is drinking coffee. Ah, man, coffee tastes good. All right, guys. So yeah, Tesla moving up at 185.80s. Yeah, 30K could happen. We'll see. I think major move in Bitcoin is coming before the meeting tomorrow. Maybe. Yeah, the meeting tomorrow is the biggest news for sure. I don't think we have any like economical stuff. Like we got existing home sales today, Canadian CPI that we're gonna stream, of course. Tomorrow we don't really have anything either. It's kind of a slower week for economic releases. But we got jobless claims and some stuff coming out on Thursday. So we got jobless claims and new home sales Thursday, like we always do. Today we got GameStop earnings this evening. All right, so we are getting a pullback. We're at 396.30s here, 396.30s. Yeah, will Bitcoin hit 30K, guys? Good question. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm watching Bitcoin and all this volatility. All right, guys. So yeah, SPY pulling back here. I can't really trade yet. We still got about 15 minutes before I'm able to actually trade. AMD. What's a good dip buy? I don't really have anything I like to buy the dip. I've been pretty flat in my swings. So I've been pretty flat in everything. Nothing just looks good enough for me to really be interested in this, you know? All right, guys. SPY pulling back. It's at 396.20s. AMD. Yeah, see, AMD, man, I like it. It's just so extended on the downside. It was at 54s, now it's at 100. So I think the lows that we put in back in October for most blue chips are kind of hard buys for me because, because almost everything has rebounded so much. Like AMD is literally up almost 100% since October. So it's just a hard buy for me to buy it now back at 100, but even still, that's kind of shown to be kind of the wrong logic. I know I had the same thought process on Netflix, and I guess actually maybe Netflix was right. Netflix still at 300, but Netflix still almost up 100% still. 100% on Netflix would be like 325, so it's at 305, so still very strong. Now we can watch Bitcoin as well here. Put Bitcoin up on the left. There's Bitcoin. Bitcoin hitting 28.2s. So Bitcoin's still very strong. How about Natty Gas? Yeah, I mean, didn't people say that this over time goes down since it's like a ETF? Man, I don't know what to do. All right, guys. What's up, DS? Hey, have fun, Matt. Hey, man, how are you today? I'm sorry, I'm new here, so I don't know your name. My name is John, but thanks, bro. Hope you're doing well, man. We need Bitcoin to hit 25.6. It is. It's at about 28K. Yeah, I always said if Bitcoin broke 25K, that'd be the biggest optimistic sign. And it broke it. So that's good to see. I have a Telegram. I just don't tell you guys it because there's no need to. The only way I use Telegram is for business. Like if sponsors want to reach out to me and talk to me there. But the problem is like you got so many scammers that it's just not worth it. Like, it's a scam. You get like as a YouTuber, you get people reaching out and they're like, "Hey sir, we would like to work for your company." The problem though is that it doesn't work on bigger YouTubers, right? So it's like if somebody's my size on YouTube, like bro, I get sponsorship offers every day, you know. Like it might work on small YouTubers who are kind of like desperate to get sponsorships, and it's kind of like a milestone for a small YouTuber to like get a sponsorship or like have somebody reach out to them, and so it might work on them. But for somebody like me, I get sponsorships every day. Basically, I'm the greatest YouTuber of all time, is essentially what I'm saying. But and so when I see somebody like you know it's a scam whenever they're like, "Hello, sir, we are advertisers. We want to advertise on your channel," and it's like they don't say what their company is. If they were like, "Hey guys, we're ABC company, we want to advertise," I'd read it, you know. But if they just say, "Hey sir, we are advertisers. We would like to advertise on your channel, sir," I'm immediately like, okay, they're just trying to get me to get. They're fishing for information, is what they're doing. Like they want me to send them some type of personal information, and you're not getting it here. Okay. Ooh, that's a tough short, Shadow. Some of it for sure, Snow. Some of it is for sure. All right, guys. All right, team. So market pull it back a little bit here. In 5 minutes, I could buy up some stuff. All right. Yeah. Tesla pull it back at 185.40s here. 185.40s. All right, 28.2K. Bitcoin. Let me see. John, do you think Cold is setting up Head and Shoulders? Oof. Cold on the daily chart? I don't know. This daily chart. That's hold. Sorry. Let me check. KLLD. I don't know, man. This chart kind of looks garbage. Maybe it could be a Head and Shoulders, but I think this is probably what you're referencing. I don't know. I don't think this looks like any pattern. That maybe it's a Head and Shoulders, but I don't know, to be honest. No, the FOMC meeting's tomorrow. Today we got Canadian CPI. Oh, it's the Donald Duck song. Here it is. All right. I'll change the Donald Duck song. Get that out of here. All right, guys. Still got a couple minutes. Yeah, SPY pump it up. Again, we will buy up some stuff and trade a little bit at the open. We did have a losing day yesterday, unfortunately. But it wasn't a huge loss in all honesty. If you look at our day yesterday, I could actually throw this up. So like yesterday, we ended up losing, you can see here, about 86 bucks. So a very small day. We kept it pretty tight. Again, here's Tesla on the right. Tesla at 185.50s here. FRC, yeah, FRC has been really struggling down to 1460s. I'm not touching this here. Would you buy or sell FRC? I'm not doing either one. I think there's risk in both of them. I think FRC, there's a chance that FRC turns into Credit Suisse number 2. If you look at Credit Suisse here, there's a chance that FRC turns into this, which just destroys it. I think people are still looking for a buyer for this one. And so I think the risks in Credit Suisse, or the risks in FRC, are still there. This thing has lost a lot of value over the last 10 days. It's gone down from $121 to $14 a share now. Now, maybe it gets bought out. And I think that's the best case scenario here for a lot of people. But I think there's risk in all of it. Yeah, I'm scared of banks right now. I think there's risk in buying them up. I think a lot of them are going to fail, and I think the ones that don't fail are going to get bought out. And so there's just risks in all of it, you know. Yeah, I mean, Matt, I wouldn't shame anybody for size and anything, even though it's my losses. I think the problem is that, like, you got some traders who shame other people for size, the size that they're trading. And I think, and I'm not saying that's you, but I think generally those traders are gamblers most of the time. You know, I think most of the time those traders are down on the year gamblers. Not saying that's you, you know, but I don't think we should shame anybody for the size that they're using in their trades. Again, I think the only people that actually do that are traders who don't make much money, you know. What's your prediction for the Fed rate hike tomorrow? My guess is 25 basis points is my guess. I think we'll almost certainly do 25. I think we could pivot to 0. But I think now that we're getting some health in the market, SPY back up to 396s, I think it's less likely that we do 0. I think if we were weak this morning and we were breaking down to like the 370s or 380s on the SPY, I think it would be a higher probability that we would do 0 rate hikes. But I think with the strength we've had, I think it's most likely. I think it was already most likely that we're going to do 25. Yeah, I'm good, Matt. Like I said, not talking about you necessarily. Yeah, I mean, long-term trades are the way, to be honest, you know. Myth. They're usually called Matt. Yeah, their name is usually B10 Matt. I'm not saying that you B10 Matt. You know, I'm not saying that you. Basically, I hate you. You know, forever. I'm not saying that's you. You know, but generally, I hate them forever. And their name's B10 Matt. You know. No, I'm just joking. But no, seriously though, I don't think we should shame anybody for the size they're using. Again, I think shaming people for the size they're using makes people gamble more. I think it's a pause. I don't think we do. I don't think we pause yet. I know Goldman Sachs thinks we're going to pause, but I don't think we pause yet. But yeah, I think Goldman Sachs thinks we're going to pause, but I don't think we pause yet necessarily. Yeah, so Canadian CPI, guys, is scheduled to show up as... So Canadian CPI is scheduled to show up as core CPI, which is the biggest one apparently for Canada. Doesn't even have an expectation. What the heck, bro? 4.8% on the year. 4.8% is what Canadian CPI is expected to show up as. 4.8%. Last core CPI came in at 0.3%, but it's not showing an expectation. But yeah, 4.8% core CPI for Canada. We'll see what shows up. Do you expect FRC to shoot up or drop when the market opens? I have no idea. We're just talking about trade size. Grape. I like your username, the Grape Ape. Clever. Most people don't understand the reference, I would assume. But I do. Love the name. No pause or reduction until the VIX hits 40. Look back at history. Yeah, maybe. I don't think we're going to pause. Like I said, I don't think we're going to pause. Yeah, I don't think we're going to pause. SPY at 3.9. We might buy this little dip here. Short term. See if we get a little pop back up. There we got TIF up there. There we go. All right, so this should be good. We're going to go ahead and buy a little piece here. See if we can buy the dip. 25 shares. Go ahead and take 50 there. 396. We'll stop overlapping the volume here. See if we get a quick little bounce back up in the SPY. We bought the dip. Hey, what's up, Will? All right, team. So yeah, we are in the SPY here. It says we're flat, but okay, there's the pullback. We could add a little bit more. Just kind of poking around at this for now. Why did it feel like a couple weeks ago everyone was saying crash, crash, crash? Now it seems like everyone has flipped because everybody sensationalizes the market, bro. Again, it's very difficult for me. One of the things that's really hard for me to do, but I do it anyway, and I hope you guys can learn from it, is to stand in front of the fire and say, hey, look, we don't have to crash. When everybody else is saying, a crash is happening, guys, I told you, Burry, Michael Burry, you know. Michael Burry said this, a crash is happening, guys, you know. It's very difficult for me to stand in front of everybody on this live stream and be like, yo, they're just sensationalizing the market. You know, the reality of it is they're sensationalizing the market. Like, that's what it is. You know, you got to understand, like, this is the way this is honestly how it really is. All right. So look, we're up big. We're going to go ahead and cut a little piece. All right. So we just locked in a little bit of profit there on the SPY. I'll take it. Lafouche, Paris. Yeah. I mean, I'm from Baton Rouge. Will. I know some friends out there. I know a girl named Lindsay. that lives out there, Will. I think she's from out there. But yeah, it's really difficult for me to stand in front of everybody and be like, yo, we don't have to crash. You know, like I said, remember last week everybody was screaming crash, and I was sitting there like, hey guys, we don't have to crash, and people were calling me names and making fun of me and saying, bro, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about, insulting names, all that stuff, right? And now the market's basically back up to 400 and the crash talk is gone. You know what the difference between me and them are? The difference is that I've been trading long enough to recognize sensationalism in markets. Yeah. And so, all right, later, Beach. Have a good day, bro. But I guess my point is, like, we don't always have to crash, man. And when everybody's yelling crash, it's usually the time, you know, that we're not going to crash. Hey, thank you, Snow. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, and it kind of goes to show, like, if you think the Bears are going to come back and be like, yeah, John, you were right. We didn't crash. When I was telling everybody to sell last week when the SPY was at 380s, you know, now the market's back up to almost 400 and the crash talk is gone, you know. And the reality of it is, once you experience this enough, you'll learn to just ignore it after a certain point. So, like, I've experienced enough people screaming stock market crash and then watching us not crash enough to recognize, like, hey, like, people are just riding Burry's coattails. What they don't realize is that Burry says we're going to crash every year. Literally every year, Burry thinks we're going to crash. And so, like, again, even a broken clock's right 2 times a day, as they say, right? You throw darts at a dartboard, eventually it's going to hit. But the Fed and the entire market does not want, like, most people do not want a crash to happen, including the Fed, including, you know, the banking system. Yeah, and again, this still could be wildly wrong. It depends on what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the biggest influence over everything. The rate hike decision tomorrow is going to be huge. It's going to be one of the biggest things we cover here on Beginner Trading. And so be ready, guys. A lot of this has to do with sympathy with banks as well. And so it doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to crash either. Like, I'll be honest here and clarify. It doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to crash either. Like, we could, but it takes a very specific chain of events to happen. Specifically bad rate hike reaction. You know, like I said, if we pivot, I'll put it this way. If the Fed does 50 tomorrow, that's bad, clearly. And I think what people also got to understand is that I think now, because everybody wants a pivot so bad, like everybody wants zero, I think now because of that, even if 25 is the most expected here, I still think we react somewhat negatively to a 25 basis point rate hike announcement. I still think we're going to react negatively to that, because I think so many people are getting their hopes up for zero, that if we don't do zero and we do 25, even though 25 is what most traders are expecting, I still think we're going to have a negative reaction from that, just based off of people getting their hopes up about zero and taking positions based off of that hope and optimism, and then, you know, basically having that bubble pop. I think that could happen tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to tank the market like that, but anything could essentially happen. Bro, honestly, I'm so frustrated, dude. So, like, over the last couple weeks, I've been training my daughter to pitch. You know, like, my daughter's softball team pitcher is hurt, right? And so I've been training my daughter over the last couple weeks to pitch in softball, and my daughter's pretty solid. I mean, she's not super fast, but she's accurate and she can pitch. You know, like, I go to my daughter's softball game yesterday, and like I said, their main pitcher is hurt. You know, so their main pitcher is hurt. And I go to their softball, and my daughter told the coach that she knows how to pitch and that she's been pitching with her dad for the last couple of weeks. She showed her coach what she could do, and her coach was like, oh, man, you're a natural. Saw that my daughter can pitch, right? But the game they played last night, she didn't play my daughter at pitcher at all. And my daughter's a second baseman, right? But it's literally every inning 5-run mercy rule. Literally every single inning 5-run mercy rule against my daughter's team. So my daughter's losing. The team's losing like really bad. The pitcher that they have now is like a little 6th grader, and she's just not that good. She's just not that good. She doesn't know how to pitch, right? And so even when she does pitch, she just kind of slowly lobs it over the plate. And so that ball there, she literally didn't get a strikeout the whole game, you know? And so for me as a parent, I'm over here like, hey, throw Maddie in. Like, Maddie can pitch. I trained her to pitch. She knows how to pitch now. Throw my dog, like, throw her in. Like, it's one thing to give the kid a chance. At least throw her in for an inning. Let her gain some experience. Nope. Coach just left the terrible kid in. They literally got 5-run mercy ruled every single inning yesterday. Out of like 6 innings, 5-run mercy rule. It was like 20-something to 3, you know? And so it's like, I get it, trying to give the kid a chance, but it's like after a certain point, you got to put the better kid in, you know? And if you don't, that's not really good coaching. I get it. She might want to be loyal, but like, you know, and like, if you want to see my daughter's pitching skills, I got a video here. Let me see if I can, there's gotta be a way to download this. Hold on. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so like, look, here's my daughter pitching. You want to see my daughter pitching? Look, I'll show you. Is she solid? Like, she's solid. Like, look. Look. All right, so she's pretty good. She's pretty good. She's not great. She can work on some stuff, but like, she's solid. You know? Like, she's better than the kid that was out there yesterday. You know? You know what I mean? Better than the kid that was out there yesterday. And so I'm frustrated as a parent. I'm mad, you know? Hey, what's up, Ray? Thank you, man. I told my daughter, this is what I told my daughter, all right? The only thing I can tell my daughter, and my daughter knows I will go extra here, you know? When I told my daughter, I was like, look, you better talk to your coach. Because if you don't talk to her, I'm going to send her a message. And you don't want me to send her a message, you know? And my daughter's like, no, daddy, don't do it. Don't send her a message. And I'm like, bro, you better talk to her, you know? And so I was like, Maddie, look, you gotta be like, yo, you got to pitch, you know? And I told her, you don't want me to talk to her. Like, I will go embarrassing dad on you in a heartbeat, you know? But I guess the principle of the matter frustrated me because it's like, okay, you got a better pitcher and then you got an absolutely terrible one. Okay, it's fine. Y'all's pitchers hurt. It's not like there's many options here. It's like they should be trying to let Maddie pitch just based off of her skill, you know, because if not, they're going to lose literally every game. Literally every game they'll go to, they're going to lose. But for whatever reason, the coach has some weird sense of loyalty to this other young kid who's really young, and she's on, you know, the B team. And like, I get it, but it's like, you got to let the better pitcher pitch, you know? FRC is super sketchy right now. It's super sketchy. So I'm not touching FRC right now. I'm in the SPY currently. Sorry for the pitching rant, you know? My parents out there know what I'm talking about, though. Yeah, FRC. So they're looking for buyers for FRC right now is what's going on. So it says bankers with knowledge of the First Republic situation say that the stock slide after other bank shares have rebounded have increased pressure on executives to find a buyer for FRC, according to FBN's Gasparino. And we'll post this here. No, for sure. No, I mean, Mike, yeah, bro, it's ridiculous, dude. Like, I get it. Like, I think my guess is that the coach knows the parents of this other little girl yesterday. And listen, they let her try. But it's like, look, I'm not trying to hate on a 10-year-old, okay? Or however old this kid is. I'm really not trying to hate. But she didn't get a strikeout the whole game. and this is like a 6 or 7 inning game, right? They're like, there's a 5-run mercy rule per inning, right? So if one team scores 5 runs in the inning, it doesn't matter how many outs they are, they just kind of start it over. My daughter's team literally got mercy ruled every single inning, no strikeouts. And so I get letting one kid try to do it, but after a couple innings of that, the coach has an obligation to say, hey, let's put the better pitcher in now. We gave this, like, I might be friends with their parents. Let's put the better coach in. Let's put the better pitcher in, because if not, then they're not doing what's best for the team, But yeah, I told my daughter, I was like, look, you got 2 games. If you don't pitch in 2 games, I'm going to contact the coach, and you don't want me to contact the coach. And I even told her, I was like, look, if I contact the coach, you can defer any blame on yourself. You could just say, hey, I asked him not to, coach, but he contacted you today. You could blame it all on me. You can act like I'm a crazy dad, but like, you got to play the better pitcher. If not, they're basically just giving up games so this kid can play, so this kid can gain experience. Yeah, for sure, Mark. Yeah, sorry for all the baseball talk. Like I said, this was just yesterday. Honestly, my daughter and I both were so mad after the game because my daughter wanted to pitch too. It got to the point where even all the other kids on the team were like, hey, why don't we let Maddie pitch? Like, hey, Maddie can pitch. Why don't we let her pitch? Like, they're getting frustrated at the kid that's out there anyway. And I get letting the kid try. But again, I think at a certain point, you got to say, okay, this ain't working. Let's try something else. And so the fact that the coach didn't do that is suspect, in my opinion, Yeah. No. Private school manual. No, I'm not taking it more serious. They were madder than I was yesterday. My daughter was super mad because my daughter learned to pitch, practiced pitching, got good at it, and then they didn't play her at all, and they let a kid that was noticeably worse than her play. So, I mean, my daughter was more frustrated than I am. I'm just kind of venting about it right now on stream because that's what I do. But yeah, we took a little bit of profit of the SPY. We got one trade today. We are up like $15-12 or whatever it is. Slow day, it looks like today, guys. CS is bouncing up a little bit too. Look at CS at 94s here. SPY still moving up again. We took a little bit of profit there, just a little trade. FRC is still trying. Here's Tesla. We're also watching Bitcoin. Look at Tesla fly up, guys. Tesla at 187s right now. 187s for Tesla. We're at 187s for Tesla. Pulling the market up too, so it's actually dragging this trade up, which is nice to see. So we did get another high of the day break up here. And again, I'm probably just going to cut this. We're at the high of the day. Go ahead and get out of here. So we made a little $15 just now. Again, slowly adding some green trades here. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think we're going to crash today. The market's actually very strong, breaking highs. SPY's still breaking highs at 396.60s. Maybe I should have held the position a little bit longer, but it's all good. Yeah, I think it's very unlikely it would crash before tomorrow as well. I think a lot of people are looking into tomorrow. And I think we could actually have some choppy sideways action. I was surprised that we pushed up as much as we did today, in all honesty. Why is the market up so much? Is there good news out? Well, I think a lot of banking crises are trying to be averted. We also have some ECB comments today as well, but I think banking is getting a little bit better. But it's kind of a interesting week so far. SPY just broke high, so maybe I should have stayed in my position. But again, green is good, and I will take the green that I got in today. So not bad. And we're slowly chipping away at this. We've got a nice little cushion of green on the year too on TOS. So it's kind of fun to build up my profits on the year. Feels good, man. Let me see. All right, guys. SPY just broke highs, got up to 396, almost 397. Will we break 400 today? Yeah, bro. They've been claiming crash every day here. That's the problem. Is that like, and again, I told you why. And what I ask you guys here is like simple. Okay, number one, again, I'm going to preface this with like, look, I'm not looking at this like. I noticed something. I noticed a trend over the last couple weeks. Right. Generally, people who are politically sided against the current administration. And again, I'm not judging you if you are. OK, I'm not judging you if you are. But I think those type of people have very strong biases towards the downside more than, everybody else. And I think that you have to understand that the market is not always going to crash, and I think people want to confirm what they want to believe. And I think that's a very strong thing sometimes. And it's just a correlation that I've noticed here is that you get some people that argue about it and talk about how a crash is going to happen. And then they're also very politically influenced as well, like rooting for one specific side. And again, I'm very neutral politically. I'm not trying to start political arguments. I'm really not. All I'm trying to say is like we don't always have to crash. And you got to take yourself out of whatever political ideology you have and look at the actual market state. I think that we could pull back more. And I think we could crash. It just depends. But we need the perfect storm of price action to do it. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not everybody, Chris. I'm not saying it's everybody, brother, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's everybody on one specific side. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, you got some people who, again, I've noticed some trends in terms of how people act. And again, I'm not saying it's everybody. It's certainly not universal, I guess is the easiest way to put it. And again, I'm not attacking you on either side, guys. Just what I'm saying is like a crash doesn't necessarily have to happen, you know. And I think it's going to be difficult for a crash to happen, but it's certainly possible. Again, I think we need the perfect storm of market activity. Yeah, for sure. All good, Mac. All good, Chris. Like I said, I get it for sure. Again, I'm not attacking one side because I am very politically neutral. Yeah, and I just think it's important to just stay neutral, guys. I think the market just broke highs. We'll see if it continues back up. All right, market's still breaking highs up to almost 397 at 396.90s right now. Tesla's starting to bounce back up. I'm going to put Bitcoin on the right side here. So here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 28 plus. So good for it, man. Yeah, all good, brother. Why banking crisis is not causing a collapse? Because it's not super. The banking, it's contained as of now. It's contained. Now, does that mean it'll stay contained leading into the future? No idea. But as of now, it is contained. That's why it hasn't spiraled into much worse price action. So as of now, it's essentially contained to SIVB, which did get bought out. FRC is struggling. WAL is struggling. And the banking, market is SPY just tapped 397. It's broke 397. It's got up to 397.09. So it's contained to a certain extent. Again, is it completely contained? No, but All right, guys. So yeah, we got a little pullback here. I don't know if it's strong enough for me. Look at JP Morgan at 129s. Yeah. Let me change the music. Sorry, this isn't really my playlist. This is an old. I put in lo-fi, and that's what pops up. My phone. There's my phone. All right, guys. All right, guys. So yeah, JP Morgan. I'm thinking about buying a dip in banks. Here's a 10-day chart. I think like the big banks are going to be fine, but I also think there's some risks, specifically with like if the banking crisis continues to get worse, then a lot of this stuff could continue to just dump. So I think we got to be careful in that regard. Yeah, John Wick. All right, so SPY tap 397 is very strong. I'm definitely not making a I told you so post on Twitter right now. Definitely not. You know, I would never do that. All right, guys. So SPY tapping 397s here. All right, guys. Bitcoin pulled back to 21.8. All right, guys. So yeah, I mean, one thing you notice is like long term heals a lot of wounds. Nothing to see, man. Per usual, pump it up until tomorrow. I didn't buy JP Morgan. No, I didn't buy it up. I'm flat in this. I'm pretty flat in everything. I mean, I don't trust anything. I'm not going to buy anything up until the Fed rate hike decision is out tomorrow. You know, it just doesn't make sense to buy up stuff too much ahead of that. There's too much influence that can happen. All right, guys. So, SPY pull it back a little bit. Not enough for me to really be interested in buying it, though. What we bring down the market tomorrow? Well, tomorrow is the rate hike decision. So it's the Fed rate hike decision. So basically, every 6 weeks, the Fed announces a potential rate hike, as well as does a press conference around that. It's a big day in market activity because it causes a lot of volatility when the rate hike decision is announced. Generally, the rate hike decision is what's expected. So generally, it's going to come in as expected, but not always. And so it's kind of, if we do anything outside of 25 basis points, I think we will get a big brash market reaction. But I think if we go zero, the market's going to rip up. But I don't think we're going to do zero. I think it's less likely that we do zero. I think it's more likely that we do 25. And I think most people think we're going to do 25, except for maybe Goldman Sachs. I think they think we might do zero, but I don't think we're going to pivot yet. Again, I think if we got a lot of weakness heading into it, they might consider pivoting to zero, but I don't think we're there yet. But again, anything could essentially happen, and we'll cover it tomorrow. So again, at 2 p.m. is when they're going to announce the rate decision, and then at 2:30 they're going to do a press conference about it. And so at 2 p.m. they're going to announce the rate hike decision, and then at 2:30 they're going to do a press conference. What matters more than the general rate hike in terms of market reaction is going to be what Jerome Powell says during the press conference. You know, those are the most important things. And we're going to stream the whole thing live right here like we always do. So stick around. We will cover all of it live. It's going to be at 2 p.m. is when the announcement is going to be for the rate hike. Yeah, so at 2 p.m. Yeah, anything can happen, really. Are we overbought? Maybe a little bit short term, but long term, I think we're oversold. But it depends on what time frame we're looking at. In all honesty, big gap up today, though. I think the likelihood that we pull back is going to be higher, though. I think generally the higher we go up, the more likely we are to pull back short term, and it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to, but I think we could. So Leon Edwards saying he's not going to fight Covington next. I don't blame him, in all honesty. I don't think Covington deserves a rematch. Or I don't think Covington deserves it. Oh, yeah, you're actually right, Nee. Thank you for letting me know. You're actually correct here. Yeah, I'm just going to put Silicon Valley Signature Bridge Bank. There you go. Hey, what's up, Shepard? What are you looking to buy in pre-market? I don't know if I'm buying anything right now. I think the market's a little bit too high, and I think the rate hike decision tomorrow is going to influence things too much. Do you think the market is moving towards being priced in on the decision? Maybe a little bit. Again, I think the rate hike decision right now is in a position where I think if we don't do zero, which I think is less likely, I don't think we're going to do zero. But I think if we don't do zero, the market's going to react negatively to it because the market's getting its hopes up about no rate hike. I think that's the position we're in. So, I mean, it depends, but I think if the market's going to react negatively if we don't do zero. But I don't think we're going to do zero. So I think we're going to react negatively. I might be wildly wrong. Don't copy me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I might be wildly wrong with anything and everything I say. Not an investment professional, not liable. If you lose, don't sue me. No idea. All right, guys. So 397 on the SPY right now. 397. All right, guys. SPY still right at 397. Not big enough of a pullback for me to really be interested in enough buy-in here. So not large enough of a pullback for me to get interested in buying that. Yeah, we're going to cover GameStop and Nike earnings this evening. What do you think about Disney? Yeah, gamblers can speculate. I mean, that's all good. Gamblers are always going to be here in the market. It is the market, you know. All right, guys. SPY at 396.80s here, 396.80s. We got Bitcoin at 28.17, 28.17. We'll see if that actually holds as well. All right, guys. Fed won't do anything unexpected. Yeah, for sure. I think stability is important right now. What do you think about Disney? I think Disney's a little bit too high for me to want to buy this. At 95s right now, it's just not quite there. It's a little bit above my buy preference. NVIDIA Investor Day. When is that? I'm not sure. I don't usually cover NVIDIA Investor Day. But is it usually like a big thing? I guess I could. All right, guys. We still got about 40 minutes. Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's today. What time? All right, guys. So Disney at 95.20s here. SPY at 397. Bitcoin at 28.24. All right, guys. SPY right around. We got a little pullback, but nothing really major. And honestly, we're kind of in a choppy sideways trend here. Disney back up to 95.20s. Still not really cheap enough for me to want to buy it. Where's Ford at, man? Ford is one that I've been playing with for a couple days now. All the way back down to 11s here. I could buy it back. Should I buy it back? It's one of the ones. I'm going to put this on my list. They also do a divvy that I've been thinking about using. Guys, I got a question here. All right, here's a question. Say I haven't historically been much of a dividend investor, but say I had 200,000 in buying power. And thank you, Reclaim. Say I had 200K in buying power. Say I had 200,000 in buying power. how much would I make a year if I bought it dividend paying stocks on average? I know that's not, it's hard to give an exact number, but for all my dividend investors out there, how much would you make a year on average with about 500K, 300K? Let's call it 300. How do you see the rest of the year playing out? I'm not sure. Yeah, what's up, Snow? Yeah, Ford is, it's cheap enough for me to think about buying it. I want to pull back. What about Snapchat? Where's Snapchat at right now? Snapchat's still at 1060s. Not really cheap enough for me here, I think. 20K with 500,000, comma 500 to $1,000. That's it. That's not very much. Last year I made 3.5% in divvies, which is good for about 3 to 5%, I guess. Oh, that's not very much. All right, so let's do. So you said 3 to 5%. Let's call it 4%. So you're saying, oh, so I'd make about 20K. That's with 500,000. All right, so say I have 250K. I make about 10K. Oh, I should have known that math already. Duh, it's gonna be 10K. It's half of 20K. No, SPY just broke highs, got up to 397s. Sorry guys, I know the math, I just didn't think of it. But yeah, close to 1,000 a month. That's not that bad, to be honest. And I think if you find stocks like Ford that are gonna appreciate, well, what are some dividend paying ETFs, I guess, is the next question here. Because here's the reality. Like, I day trade, but I use such a small percentage of my buying power. Like I said, I got almost 200,000 in buying power on TOS. You know, so part of me is like, well, why don't I just throw this into some dividend paying stocks? All right, SPY just tapped over highs, pulled back a little bit now. Yeah, I'm going to put it this way, though, guys. So when I say dividend paying stocks, number one, it needs to be blue chips. All right, there's no way I'm investing in sketchy dividend paying mid caps or penny stocks. So if it's a penny stock under $10, don't even tell me it. I don't even want to look at it. It needs to be a company that's big enough that I know about. Like, it needs to be a big enough company. So Ford is one I'll probably look to do. Doesn't Disney pay a dividend now? Doesn't Disney pay a dividend? Right? Let me see. I thought they changed it. Let me look. Okay, so they're not paying divvies anymore. Boo. Yes, it's including margin. Ride. Yeah, I don't have actual liquid 200K. Why not just trade larger size? Because there's more risks. Like, I could trade larger, but there's more risk that comes with it. What feels good is seeing a lot of people who are all bearish, telling people where the market was going to crash, telling people the market was going to dump, that everybody that didn't think the market would have crashed didn't know what they were talking about. It feels really good to see those same people that were super critical of people like me who are like, yo, over the last months and months I've been saying this. All right, you know what feels really good is watching those same people pivot to completely different stances now, saying, oh, now the market's going to go up, guys. Yeah, I bet you think that now. You know. Problem is, I've been saying this for months now. Yeah, maybe the market does crash, bro. To be honest. Yeah, you can buy divvies with margin. Yeah, so I think what I'll probably do is wait for tomorrow for the rate hike decision. Dude, look at this post by Kramer here, guys. Wow. Dude. Kramer. Jim Cramer, FRC is the new focus. Very good bank. He literally said this 11 days ago. 11 days ago, he said this. 11 days ago, he said this. He's got to have friends in banking, man. It's got to be something like this. So Kramer said this here when it was at $90. It's literally down 18% or whatever that is. Yeah, it's bad. Then if you genuinely think that, then you haven't been paying much attention to Michael Burry. Michael Burry has basically, the big joke of Michael Burry is that he's called 15 out of the last 2 crashes. You know, so like, point is, Michael Burry is always yelling crash. He's literally called a stock market crash every year for the last 10 years, right? And so I find it silly to say, hey, Michael Burry said it, so it must be true. No, not true at all. Michael Burry, again, has literally called a crash every year, you know, and we still haven't crashed. And so his accuracy rate is going to be very, very, very low. He had a great call in 2008, but don't let the big short fool you into thinking he's some guru wizard, because he's not. Again, he's actually been wildly wrong. Maybe we could hit the low. What do they have? SCHD ETF. Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. How much do they pay? So, like, what do they have under their books here? Let me see. Straightforward, low cost fund conservative is part of the core complement and diversified, tracks and index focused. Got about 45 billion in assets. Does it really give about 37%? I don't know. I think there's some benefit and I never see you trade. No, wait until the opening bell. It's pretty quiet right now. I don't really see anything I like. Oh, come on, Derek. Calling me a perma bull, man. Like I said, I get it, you're bearish, but the market's kind of been pushing up over the last couple of days. SPY's almost at 400. So, I mean, I get it. People might be, wrong about short-term direction. You've been saying we're going to crash for the last, month and a half, and so I get it. You might have been wrong about that, and we're not really crashing over the last month and a half. But calling me a perma bull is just silly, brother. Come on now. Inverse Kramer ETF. Yeah, so they got the annual conference today. It's about 10 a.m. Shepherd. Yeah, I'm looking for, I don't know. I think there is some value though in diversifying. Like, I think with the banking stuff going on, I think if the bank problems trickle out of control, then that could weigh down on some of these dividend paying stocks. And so I think there might be a little bit more edge in just simply buying up some dividend paying stocks myself instead of necessarily like putting all the money into an ETF that has let me look. It depends on what they have. I'm trying to see what stocks they have here. Portfolio, there it is. So they've got Broadcom, Cisco, Texas Instruments, Verizon, UPS, Pepsi, Lockheed Martin, Merck, Coca-Cola. Okay, yeah, these are pretty solid. So is that it? I like Ford though. Yeah, imagine, like I said, guys, people are emotional, man. Imagine calling for a crash, right? Like a month and a half ago, being wrong about that call, like the market not crashing. In fact, over the last 6 months here, let's look at the SPY, right? Imagine being wrong about that. Like, here's the SPY over the last, what is this, 180 days? Here's the last 6 months of the SPY price action here. So that's what we're in right now. But imagine calling that being wrong and then getting mad at the person who was right. You know? I mean, listen, guys. People are doing mental gymnastics over here. But hey, when you hear people say crash, maybe we do crash. We're not there yet, though. And again, here's the market over the last 6 months. So the market is basically flat over the last 6 months. Like, if we look at the actual trend here, here's the trend essentially over the last 6 months. That's literally the trend. We could literally draw top and bottom to this trend here. Let's draw it. There's the trend, right? That is essentially what we are in right now over the last 6 months. That's it. That's not a crash. Okay, so IJ, let me get this straight, brother. You are trying to argue that break even is a crash. Okay. So you're trying to argue that the definition of crashing has changed, sir. To we break even, that's a crash, right? We go up, that's a crash. We go down, that's a crash. All right, we go sideways, that's a crash. All right, market's about to crash, breaking over 400, guys. You know, SPY might pull back and bounce, crash at the volume weighted average price. All right, sorry, I'm gonna mess with you, you know, over that for a little bit. Yeah, the market might crash up a lot, crash sideways. You know, sometimes the market pulls back and bounce crashes at the volume weighted average price. Market just hit the crash level of 397. So it just tapped over 397, pulled back a little bit, back up to 397 crash level. Mental gymnastics is all I'm going to say. Mental gymnastics here, guys. You know? Top 3 crashes in the world right now. Hey, top 3. I gotta mess with you. All right, bro. My son, dude, this door is like my son's kryptonite right now. Love you, buddy. There you go, man. Love you, buddy. Have a good day at school, okay? You feeling okay today? I like your shoes, man. You're looking slick, buddy. Love you, buddy. Oh. All right. I love you. Love you. Have a good day. All right. All right, guys. Kids at school. But yeah. So SPY at 397s. Oh man, see, listen, I'm not making fun of anybody. Heavy, see, you're wrong, brother. Like, number one, it sounds like you're just mad. Number one, Heavy, I'll be honest. Number two is like, I'm not making fun of anybody. You know, listen, if somebody comes in here and they say that break even is a crash, which I'm pretty sure they were joking, then I'm gonna joke back with them. You know, I'm not making fun of beginners, man. Come on now, dude. You big mad over here, like you know it. Like I said, again, it's fine to call a crash, but if we don't crash, you got to admit you're wrong, right? If you call a crash and then we don't crash, and then I bring attention to the fact that we didn't crash, and then you get mad at me for it, like I said, it's all good, you know. But come on now, listen, we're all wrong sometimes. I was wildly wrong about Tesla. Okay, Tesla, wildly wrong. I thought Tesla was a bad buy at 1,000. At 1,000 for Tesla. Look, I'll make fun of myself here if it makes you guys feel better. I thought Tesla was a bad buy at $100. Right here, I was telling people, yeah, guys, I don't like this. Okay, down here, I was like, yeah, Tesla sucks. You know, I'm not buying Tesla. I said it's too risky. Right here, you know, Tesla's up like 100%, or not 100%. Tesla's up like 85% right now, relative to where I said that. And so, listen, we're all wrong sometimes, you know. The difference is that I'm not going to get mad at the people who said Tesla was a good buy at 100. You know, I'm not going to get mad at them. Heavy trader, stop yelling, bro. Listen, stop yelling, dude. Hey, thank you, Joshua. I appreciate it. I also know somebody that has your same name, Joshua. Heavy trader, stop yelling, bro. Listen, stop yelling, man. Yeah, we're crashing to all-time highs here. Your laughing makes me worry about a crash coming. Is my laughing the next crash signal? Top 3 greatest crash signals in the world right now. SPY at 397, the big crash level of 397. Yeah, Meta bounced back even bigger. Yeah, I was wrong about Meta too. I was kind of wrong. The only thing I was wrong about Meta is that I wasn't willing to buy it when it was cheap. But I think there's still risks in Meta, but yeah, Meta popped up too. Yeah, it is crashing, just crashing upward. That's right, Valtteri, 100%. Top 3 greatest upward crashes in the world right now. But yeah, guys, again, I'm going to say it one more time. It's fine to be wrong, right? Everybody's wrong. We're wrong sometimes too. But it takes it's a different level of emotion to be wrong about something and then getting mad at the person that was right. You know, that's a different level. You know, I get it. People really want to be right. I understand. We're all wrong sometimes. Again, Tesla, wildly wrong on Tesla. You flatter me. Top 3 flatterers in the world right now for sure. They mean shorts are crashing. Puts are crashing. Maybe that's what they mean. Ford, rip it up. I kind of want to buy Ford again as a dividend paying stock. I do kind of want to buy Ford. Q has gone up $20 in 7 days. This is unsustainable. Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree there's probably going to be some bearish momentum on the downside now. I think that we pushed up a little bit too much. I think it's probably more likely that we start to dip down. But I think a lot of people are just waiting for the rate hike decision. I think some of this is front loading into the potential rate hike decision that we're going to get tomorrow. But I think you also got to look at the long-term trend here as well. So it's like, yeah, the Q's up $20. Yeah, Q's up $20 in 11 days. I see it. But I mean, you also have to understand that like prior to this, like back in August and September, you know, the Q dropped from 330s all the way down to 250s. So the Q, you dropped like $70, $80, $90 over like a month or two. And so, yeah, I mean, we had some pretty big drops in the Q here leading up to this. So, I mean, you know, $80 drop in a couple months. And so, I mean, like I said, the Q has had just as much downward momentum over the last 6 to 8 months as it has upward momentum. But I again, before people call me a perma bull, like everybody's always like, John, you're a perma bull. I think we could pull back some short term. I think we're probably a little extended on the upside. The more we push up, the less likely I am to buy stuff. Same thing with the SPY. Like I'm not buying anything on the SPY today. Why? Because I don't necessarily think we're going to go up more. I think we might pull back a little bit. But maybe, again, I really don't know. Yeah. When you learn to trade longer and you start actually getting used to it, the emotion goes away. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but that's not a crash though, Ernie. The big difference in what you're saying, brother, is this, okay? So like there's a difference between a bear market and a crash, Ernie. We're obviously in a downward market. We've been down for the last year. Nobody's arguing against that, I don't think. What I'm saying though, the people who I'm arguing against is like we get people that come to the stream and they're like, we're gonna have the biggest drops in history tomorrow, you know? And I always tell them the same. I always kind of laugh at them and tell them the same thing. Okay, you know. And then tomorrow comes, and we don't get that, you know. And then they say it again. They say, "Oh, the rate hike decision tomorrow is going to cause the biggest drops. Be ready." And then it doesn't happen. And then CPI tomorrow is going to cause these big drops. Be ready. And then it doesn't happen, you know. And so after a certain point, it's like, yeah, we're down on the year. But again, we're pretty sideways, I would say, over the last year. We could isolate any time frame and make the argument, right? So I've done this many times, but okay, very short term, we're bullish. We're gapping up huge today. We zoom out a little bit more on a 20-day chart, and let me see what we're at. And we're slightly down on a 20-day chart. We zoom out some more on a 180-day chart, and we are slightly green. You know, through this, we're green on a 180-day chart. So at 6 months, the market is green. We zoom out even more on a yearly chart, the market is red. You zoom out even more on a weekly chart, the market is very green. All right, and so it's all relative to time frame. Like we could isolate a time frame and bring up the bull or bear case, but it's all relative to the time frame we're using. SPY right around $400. We'll see if we start to bounce back though. I do think there's some risks with regards to like the banking stuff going on. I think there's some risks here. I think we could run into problems if this banking crisis trickles out of control into other sectors. I think that the market and the Fed is doing everything they can to avoid that. And so I think it's not a super high chance, but there is a chance that this banking thing continues to weigh down on everything, and that trickles into other sectors, and then they weigh down. Again, if we get a really bad rate hike, say the Fed comes out and does 50 tomorrow, which would be shocking to say the least, that's going to make the market tank fast. You know, but again, what matters more so is what Jerome Powell says tomorrow. What Jerome Powell says tomorrow is going to mean more than anything else. Like what JP says tomorrow is going to influence the market heavily. So like we'll probably do 25 basis points tomorrow. But what Jerome Powell says in the press conference following the rate hike announcement is going to mean a lot more, because he's going to give updates on sentiment, on plan for the rest of the year with regards to the future rate hikes. He's going to talk about what their plan is, what their bias is, what their sentiment is, and all that stuff is going to either boost or weigh on the market. So that's an important thing to watch. And we'll stream the whole thing live here. So we'll stream the entire thing live like we always do. But it is something to pay attention to. I think 25. Yeah, I think we'll probably do 25 as well, heavy. I've been seeing that everywhere. A lot of bearish claims on YouTube trying to compare today's market to the 2008 situation. Yeah, for sure. Again, I'll tell you what it is, right? And this is just from the outside looking in. Okay. And again, I think what happens is you get like politics and you get people that don't like the current administration. And then you also get people who like look up to Michael Burry and they look up to all these other influencers who are pushing crash. The market's going to crash. And I think all of those things combined makes a lot of people just think that the market's on the edge of just a stock market collapse. And again, I'm not saying they're wrong. It could happen. But you got to understand, like, crashes are incredibly difficult to predict. Like, The Big Short made Michael Burry famous, but Michael Burry's been calling for a crash every year. And it's something where I don't ever, and again, I don't really pick sides politically. I dislike both sides, to be honest. So, I'm not trying to insult anybody's political stance, because, like I said, I'm pretty neutral myself. But I think that, like, you got to understand, crashes are not something that happen regularly, and again, if you look at the stream sometimes, and if you look at other people, you think that it's just something that's always going to happen every day. We're just going to get some big stock market crash that's going to destroy the markets. And again, if it was that easy to predict, people would be a lot more wealthy here. Yeah, I mean, Burry might be good at math, but he's called a stock market crash every year for the last 10 years. He's called 23 of the last 2 stock market crashes. So it's like, again, broken clock. You throw darts at a dartboard, eventually you're going to hit the dartboard. So I mean, even if we do crash now, he's still running 15% accuracy or whatever it really is. So I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Burry, I'm just being honest. Banking confidence, Blue Jay. Yeah, it could be more like 2000. But if it is like 2000, how long did the market take to rebound from the 2000 crash here, which was known as the dot-com crash, right? So they had the dot-com boom and then the dot-com fall. How fast did the market rebound? Let's look at the S&P 500 is what we really got to look at, right? So here's a 20-year chart. Still not going to necessarily cover the 2000 crash, I don't think. Yeah, that's 03. So we're going to have to extend this. I'll make it max. There we go. All right, so let's look at the dot-com crash. All right, so here's the dot-com crash. Oh, no, that's 08. Okay, let's look at... Here's the dot-com crash. All right, so the dot-com crash started in 2000. The bear market lasted for 2 years straight. All right, so for 2 years straight. But again, I want you guys to understand something here, is that if we zoom out here, what is this? Okay, that's 08. Right, if we zoom out here, the dot-com crash happened when we were in a bull market. So like, the dot-com boom happened when we were in a bull market here. So we were moving up to leading into the dot-com crash. We were moving up ahead of it. And then, and so we can compare us to the dot-com boom what sparked the dot-com crash. And again, I'm not saying we don't do this, but if you understand history of this, right, what happened in 2000 was that the internet was just freshly invented, right? So the internet was freshly invented. Basically anything with .com at the end of it would get immediate funding and get listed on the public exchange. And right, so you had all these online companies before internet companies were really known and you could really analyze them effectively and efficiently. Before you could really do that, all these companies were pumping up in the stock market. You know, you had a lot of companies that just did really well in terms of stock market action, but a lot of them were overpriced, inflated in value, based off of optimism and the internet as a whole. People eventually realized that some of these companies were not as good as they thought they were, and I can't remember what triggered it, but something triggered a fire sale. That made everybody in internet companies get nervous, and everybody started taking profit all at once, from what I remember. And eventually, the dominoes fell, and it spiraled into just a mass panic. You know, and it looks like this lasted for a couple years, which is interesting. You know, it lasted from 2000 to 2002 or 3. It looks like the bear market did. But again, I mean, I don't even know if, I mean, this was a crash. Kind of, the market was all the way back up by 07. So, you know, it did take 5 years before it really bounced back. But again, I mean, I think you also have to look at it with regards to like, okay, if we compare this to now, right? If we put up like a daily chart on the SPY here, right? We are already down on the year. And I mean, it could be arguable that we do something like this to look more like this, right? So maybe that's this, you know, maybe, but yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is if we are like the 2000 crash, then we're on the second leg of it. But I guess what I'm asking is, if this is like 2000, what is the inflated sector? Like the inflated sector in 2000 was internet stocks, online companies, you know, .com, boom, and crash is what they called this, right, in 2000. So if we're in that right now, what is the underlying sector that's inflated, I guess is the point. Well, I know something that happened was that Netscape went out of business around this time. So Netscape used to be a browser company, right? We got Canadian CPI at about 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes for Canadian CPI. So that's dropping in about 4 minutes. We will cover this live completely here as soon as we get it. So be ready, guys. But yeah, so what happened is like you used to have a company called Netscape, right? Netscape was a browser company before like Chrome and Google and all this stuff. You had Netscape, and Netscape was like a paid browser. Like you would buy it and pay for it and then install it on your computer. And it was kind of, it had like shops and stuff like that. It was a browser company, kind of like Google Chrome. And they ran the game. They kind of changed the landscape for IPOs at the time, specifically tech IPOs, because they IPO'd before they were actually profitable. And you had a lot of like old heads in investing be like, hey, they shouldn't IPO. They're not necessarily profitable yet, which went against the standard of the time, which is that you needed, I think, a certain amount of consecutive profitable quarters before you could IPO publicly, right? But Netscape kind of went away from that standard and IPO'd early and turned out to be wildly successful for their IPO and made billions. Were worth billions by the end of it. And so Microsoft came along and said, hey, look, why don't you partner with us? You can partner with us. We can use your browser in our computers and everything will be cool. Netscape was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to work with you, Microsoft, and basically rejected Microsoft's bid to work with them and partner with them, right? Netscape said, no, we can do it himself. So Microsoft said, hey, look, that's fine. We're gonna start including our own browser, our in-house browser, free with the computers that have Microsoft operating systems on them. So we're going to include our browsers essentially free with our computers, which was like 90+% of the market. And literally within a couple months, Netscape was no more. Eventually got bought out by AOL for only a couple million when they were worth billions one of the worst business decisions ever made was them competing with Microsoft. And in Microsoft's, to Microsoft's credit, one of the best business decisions they ever made was including Internet Explorer with their computers in-house. That changed the game for browsers. Anyway, we got Canadian CPI coming out in about a minute and a half, guys. About a minute and a half. Expectations for core CPI are 4.8%. 4.8% for core CPI. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Core CPI expected to come in at 4.8%. Stay with us, guys. We will cover this. We got about a minute left. We're going to watch the market here. Yeah, about a minute left. We're also going to throw it in sub-only mode if you haven't already hit sub. We haven't thrown it in there yet, so we're going to throw it in sub-only mode. But yeah, Canadian CPI drops in about 1 minute. Be ready. All right, guys, less than a minute. All right, guys, 30 seconds. Again, 4.8% is what's expected here, 4.8%. Core CPI is expected at 0.8%. 4.8% and 0.8% is what's expected here. Again, we'll see what we get. 15 seconds, guys, 15 seconds. All right, Canadian CPI, guys, again, 2 seconds, and it should be out right now. Waiting for it. I don't see anything reflecting yet. Looks like Canada's a little bit late. All right, Canadian CPI is out. It came in at 4.9%. Core CPI came in at 0.4% versus 0.5% expected for Canadian CPI. Canadian core CPI month over month came in at 0.3%. 0.3% versus 0.8% expected for Canadian CPI. 0.3% versus 0.8% expected for core. Again, 0.5% for versus 0.8% month over month. So 0.5% versus 0.8% month over month for core. Regular CPI came in at 5.2% on the year versus 5.4% expected. So lower than expected almost universally here for Canada. CPI month over month came in at 0.4% versus 0.5% expected. Yearly CPI came in at 5.2% versus 5.4% expected. Core CPI year over year came in at 4.7 versus 4.8% expected. Core CPI month over month came in at 0.5% versus 0.8% expected. So that is the Canadian numbers here. We'll put this up on screen so you can see it. So yeah, core CPI year over year, it's 4.7 versus 4.8%. Regular CPI month over month. .4% versus 0.5% year over year. Yeah. Here is the Canadian numbers right there. All right. Hey, what's up, Voorhees? Thoughts on FRC? I think FRC UBS had a rip. Yeah, it didn't affect markets too much. It wasn't ever going to. I mean, Canadian CPI doesn't really move markets like that. You know, we cover it, but it doesn't really move markets like that. Yeah, what's up, Frank? All right, guys. So yeah, market pulling back. I kind of want to buy up a little bit. Yeah, tomorrow's huge. Well, you're here today, Blue Jay. Most of the time they're here every day, but they're not here today because they've been wrong, and so if they said it today, they would just kind of look silly. Uh, All right, market pulled back a little bit here. We're watching the S&P 500. But yeah, kind of like I said, let me know what you guys think about the internet boom or the internet crash that we got in the 2000s, and if that's similar to what we have now. Again, maybe it is. Here's the dollar index. I'm going to put up Tesla, actually. There's Tesla. I just think like there's a chance that the market's already down on the year, down on the last couple of years, really. And so there's a chance that we've already seen the bear action and that the market starts to pump back up. Again, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there's a chance that that's kind of how it is. Yeah, if every day you claim the world's going to end, you might be right eventually, 100%. A Michael Burry tap, MB. Mark my words, SPY will crash big soon. Another vague post, though. Doomsday. I mean, the reality of it is everybody says that every day, man. People have been saying that for the last 6 months, brother. Literally 6 months people have been saying it. And so, again, after a certain point, my bias swings to the other side. In a bear market, I hope you're right, honestly. Right, for sure, Ernie. I genuinely agree with you, brother. You said bear and bulls are silly as both sides of the political spectrum. The truth is always in the middle. 100%. Absolutely agree. Market pumping up to 397s. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Top Step is a futures funded program. So if you want to trade this volatility, here's the E-mini on the right. You can see the E-mini on the right is the same exact price action as this. Look, so it's literally the exact same thing. You get a big pump up, pull back, pull back. It's the same price action, but you can day trade the right side with no PDT restrictions. The futures market, there is no PDT rule in futures. So you can literally day trade the S&P 500 with a margin account. You can short it. You can go long. No PDT restrictions. Top Step funds you in that market. So the easiest way to gain exposure to that market without taking on a lot of risk is a funded account program. And Top Step is the most legit one in the world, in my opinion, in futures. What they do is they give you a demo. And if you can hit the target on their demo while following their rules and conditions, and they fund you legitimately between 50 to 150,000 with a 90% split. And this is, they've been around for over 10 years now. They pay out millions of dollars. They fund thousands of traders a year, every year. Now, the big thing to understand is that most day traders are going to lose money. When I first started day trading, I lost thousands and thousands of dollars. And so this is a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they're a sponsor of mine and they pay me money. But I genuinely wish I had something like this when I first got started because I would have just lost less, right? So putting up the money yourself in futures, you need at least 10 to 15K in my opinion, right? To get reasonable buying power, you need at least 10 to 15K. And if you put that up, most day traders lose in the beginning. So you're going to lose thousands of dollars a lot of the time if you try that. These funded account programs are useful because it's kind of a middle ground of pressure, right? If you could pass the funded account program, there's a 90% split, right? So say you take, once you're funded, if you can get funded and you can pass their test, once you're funded, you get 90% split. So if you make 20K, you keep 18,000 of that money. since they're funding it to you, they keep 2, right? Very reasonable split. And so what this is enabling you to do is take on a smaller risk than you would if you put the money up yourself in the beginning. You still have some pressure on you to succeed, but you don't have the full extent of risking thousands of dollars. And I think that's a beautiful thing for traders because it allows them to test themselves, see if they're ready to scale up in size, see if they're ready to take larger risks with a bigger account. And if they lose the funded account program, it's still not the end of the world. It's if you try to get funded and you lose, which most people are going to, I think most people are going to lose. But that's the point, is that when you lose a funded account program, you're down $140, instead of losing thousands of dollars like you would if you put up money in futures yourself. And so it's a great way to test your skill. If you want to check them out, it's called Top Step. Here is the link. Great way to help support the channel. There's the link right there. Check it out. Anything specific to that triple, just look out on their website, bro. Is CPI good for market or good for gold, silver? What do you mean? CPI, what do you mean in that regard? Higher or lower? What do you mean? But yeah, if you want to check out Top Step, you get 20% off. All right, SPY pull it back a little bit. Still a little too extended for me to want to buy this up. Sorry, looking to put some music on. There we go. AMC pumpers turned into market doomsayers, maybe. All right, so yeah, CPI coming out. We also have President Lagarde speaking up. Existing home sales at 10 today. Ford actually gapping up a little bit. SPY still right around 397s here. Yeah, for sure. Swing trading. I'm actually I'm not purely a day trader either. Like I day trade some, but I'm actually better at swing trading than I am at day trading by far. Like my swing trades have been very profitable. I'm green on the year for sure in swing trading. And it's just much better trading for me personally. It's easier for me to do, but everybody's different. And again, I think the point is like you can get exposure to day trading without taking on risk. And I think that's a big edge, very useful, because I think most people are going to lose money in day trading. And so you can kind of just save yourself from losing a ton, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, Daniel. I think there's a chance, bro. I think there's a chance we do. We'll see. I think there's a chance the market is flat leading into the open tomorrow. I think the market is sideways and neutral at this point in time, and so I think there's a chance that we're just flat. I think short term the momentum's on the upside or on the downside. I mean, I think we've moved up so much in pre-market that I think we might do something like this where we open up and we pull back a little bit. we open up and then we pull back a little bit like this maybe, and then we consolidate and maybe go like that. Or, you know, we could just do a red to green move and start testing 400 like this, and then, you know, either one of those is possible. We could just fill the gap too. I really don't know. I don't know, Sam. I might buy it regardless after the rate hike decision, but I need the rate hike decision first. All right, SPY at 397 still. We got the E-mini at 4,000 plus here. Still gonna pull up Tesla so we could watch this too. SPY 400 then pull back, maybe. CPI in Canada was universally low. So everything in Canada was lower than expected with regards to CPI, which is good. You know, it was good. So basically, CPI in Canada was positive. Not actually higher than expected, but was good, I guess we should say. All right, guys. So 397 pullback. Q just dumped under the volume weighted average price. And remember, I thought we were a little extended on the upside today. I thought that the likelihood of a pullback today was pretty high. But again, maybe not. I might be wildly wrong and have no idea what I'm talking about. Ford's not below 10. Yeah, you're saying buy it if it's under 10? Maybe. You know, I probably would, especially with the dividend that it pays, maybe. All right, guys. SPY at 397s here. 397s on the SPY. So SPY back up. Q popping back up a little bit here. Yeah, I don't know. I try not to tell everybody too much about what I'm doing. I'd rather nobody copy me. I don't really want people copying me. So again, kind request, Sam, please don't copy me. Not really wanting anybody to copy me. I might be wildly wrong about everything. I might lose everything. I might, maybe Ford just crashes down. I have no idea what I'm doing. I might be wildly wrong about everything. Don't copy me. Got to say that. All right, Q all the way down to 307.60s. Is it reasonable to buy the pullback here? I don't know. No, I really don't want people to copy me. I'd rather people not copy me. I think people see me green with my swing trades, and so they want to copy me. But again, y'all gotta understand something here, guys. If I do buy up stuff, I'm willing to hold it as long as I need to hold it. Like if I buy Ford, I'm gonna hold Ford until I'm green, even if that's 5 years from now. Yeah, if I buy Google or Disney, I'm gonna hold those until I'm green. I have the luxury and the buying power to be able to sit on those positions indefinitely. And I think the biggest edge you have in market activity is long-term blue chips go up. And so, I don't want anybody to copy me. Of course, I don't want anybody to copy me. I might be wildly wrong about everything. I have no idea what's going to happen. Not an investment professional. But if you do copy me, you better be willing to hold, because again, I think people get emotional every big up move, big down move, and again, I'm planning, if I do buy stuff, it's a mix of a swing trade and a long-term investment, in all honesty. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I think with the dividends they pay out, it's probably okay. Again, it just depends. Like Ford long term will probably be fine, but obviously there's risks. No, that was in 2020. In 2020, a lot of stuff felt like that. 2008. The only two times Ford is consistently held under $5 were 2020 and 2008, and very quickly they bounced back over $5 very fast. So I mean, it just depends on where you get in. Ford prior to the 2000 crash was at $40 a share roughly. So I mean, there's some upside potential there too. Blue chips eventually die out too. Well, it depends on which ones. I think when you look at Disney and Apple, I think those are two companies that are going to be fine long term. Disney and Apple. I think you do the thought experiment of like, okay, well, what's immune? People are always going to buy phones, and Apple's huge, and so I think Apple's fine. I think Disney's fine. Disney owns Star Wars, Marvel, ESPN. They're diversified well enough to be okay. Yeah, there's some risks in automotives, but I think if you pick the right ones, it doesn't matter. And again, the big edge, like if you want to curb all that, just buy a index fund. The S&P 500 has done, if we zoom out here, again, to put it into perspective, in 1950, the S&P 500 was I keep going back here. In 1950, the S&P 500 was $16 a share. It is now at 4,000. And again, that's 70 years ago, of course. I mean, but again, we can look at it in 1997. The S&P 500 was $900 a share in 97. Now it is 4,000. So it is over 4x. It's up almost over 400%. So if you don't like holding blue chips, then just buy the S&P 500. Not telling you should, but John, they said that about IBM. Yeah, but I don't think heavy trader. I get it. You're trying to be contrarian, but I don't think you really understand what you're saying. In all honesty, bro, here's the long-term chart of IBM. Here's the long-term chart, brother, of IBM. Still a solid looking chart, bro. I mean, here's the literal long-term trend of IBM. It's gone from 970s exactly 30 years ago. It went from 970s to around $125 in 30 years, sir. Bringing up IBM like a failure story is not accurate, brother. It's gone from $9 to $125 in 30 years. So, I mean, you could use that as your example, but it ain't a good one, Yeah, I guess the point I'm trying to make is like, listen, blue chips go up on average long term. The biggest edge you'll have, S&P 500 gives you 8 to 12% a year. Betting against that edge long term is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make in the market. I get it. People want to be Michael Burry. They idolize Michael Burry. I get it. Maybe you can predict a crash. Okay. But like the biggest edge statistically, not just by my feelings here, but the biggest edge statistically is that the market's going to go up long term. Generally, not always. You can always isolate specific periods of time and say, hey, the market dropped here. You zoom out, the market goes up long term. And so discounting that edge is silly because that's the biggest edge you'll ever have in the market over any other trading strategy, over anything else. That's the biggest edge. And I think it's important for traders and investors to understand that, because that's how, the big game of the S&P 500 is that it keeps up with inflation. You can save up 50K, 100K for retirement. By the time you retire, that 50 or 100K might be worth noticeably less, right? The edge of the market is that you can throw it into the S&P 500 and it will, for the most part, keep up with inflation on average. What happened, heavy trader? You got silent all of a sudden, brother, And like I said, it's all love here, man. It's all good. But my point, which is that even IBM, which is known as a broad failure story, right? It's gone from $9 to $125 in 30 years. So if that's a failure, if that's the example of a failure, I'd love to see the example of a success there, If you bought every dip in Facebook over the last 5 years, you would be down $20 a share. It just depends on when you start buying and how you average. DWAC. DWC is a terrible company, bro. You know, hyped up, penny stock, sketchy, low float, manipulated, just sketchy, man. You know. Bitcoin. We can look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 28.5, 28.4. Bill Ackman says the Fed should pause rates. What do you think the Fed should do, guys? How many basis points will the Fed rate hike tomorrow? Genuine question. Yeah, it's all good, heavy. What I was saying is, like, you said IBM. You said people said that about IBM too. But again, IBM is up huge percentages over a 30-year period. You know, so I mean, that would prove my point exactly. Heavy was my point there. And so again, my point is if that's your argument for a failing, you know, blue chip, you know, the success argument should be even better, I think, you know. But it's all good, man. Like I said, we can agree to disagree. But again, I'm pretty consistent in what I say. I genuinely think if you're betting against long term, like, it's fine to bet short term bear action, like even over a year period. If you think the market's going to go down over a year, fine, understandable. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not a permable, in all honesty. If I was a permable, I'd still be holding all my swing trades from 2 weeks ago. But I didn't. I cut them before those Jerome Powell press conferences because I'm not always bullish. But if you're betting against long term blue chips, generally that's a very big mistake. Generally. Now, if you're going to short something, in my opinion, the best thing to short is mid caps. Mid caps are overhyped. Super easy to predict the ones that are overinflated, like Peloton or like BYND, Beyond Meat. There's just some terrible mid caps out there that are incredibly overpriced that you could rake in money on the short side from those. But I think if I'm betting short on stuff, that's what I'm betting on. I'm not going to bet on blue chips long-term failing. I think that's silly, especially if it's like big companies too. I think that's silly. Yeah, I mean, you do what I do, though, heavy. That's what I do. I buy in bear markets. I buy up stuff, and then I sell in bull markets. I don't hate Peloton. The reason I bring Peloton up is because I was right about Peloton. So, like, I've been saying the same thing about Peloton for 2 years now. You know, I really have. You can ask anybody, any long-term person here has probably remembers me being like this. But I've been saying the same thing about Peloton for years now, which is that they were overpriced, they were overinflated. I've been saying this since Peloton was at $80, $60, $50. They got virtual reality rowing machines, and they're selling them for thousands of dollars. Most people would rather have an actual bicycle over a virtual reality bicycle. And so selling those things for thousands of dollars, of course they're failing, you know. But that's my point. My point is, like, you can isolate some of these terrible mid caps that are overpriced. Those are what I would short personally. Again, I'm not saying you should. I have no idea what's going to happen. Peloton's already at freaking $9 a share now. So I'm not shorting it now at all. I'm certainly not telling anybody to short it here because it's just too cheap at this point. But my point is that you can isolate mid caps like this that are overhyped, that've got these huge followings of traders who are mostly stuck, and you can have some fairly easy stocks to predict bear action on. Same thing with BYND, same concept, really. Yeah, but I think the problem with that, Justin, is like if you live in a city, just ride your bike. I think people are mad. I don't think people are mad. I just think people overestimated their health. Even if there is a business model there, Justin, the problem with it is that it was overpriced. Like, again, if I was Peloton, I said this many times, if I was Peloton, I would lower the price of the bikes, raise the price of the monthly subscription. It's going to have an easier barrier of entry. You lower the price of the bikes. Selling a VR bicycle for $4,000 and then charging people a monthly subscription for it is not something that most people are going to want. And so I would lower the price of the bikes, but I don't know their margins, to be honest. Like, I don't know what their margins look like, but I would lower the price of their bikes, and then I would raise the price of the monthly subscription. Because if somebody spends a couple thousand to buy my bicycle, then they're going to pay the subscription. And so if I was Peloton, that's what I would do, ultimately, is I would lower the price of the bike, allow more people to buy it. Once they buy it, they're going to pay for the subscription, even if it's a little more. And that's going to allow more people to buy the bike, get introduced to it, have a cheaper barrier of entry, and then you'll make it back on the back end with subscription sales. That's what I would do. Again, I don't know their margins. Maybe their margins aren't good enough to lower the prices of their bikes. That's possible too. I really just don't know. All right, guys, we're gonna get ready to trade. Yeah, Travis, 100%. Yeah, most profitable traders are buying stocks when they're down. Good stocks, blue chip stocks, swinging for months. Yeah, I mean, I don't think most traders are doing that necessarily. I think most traders are just making money long term. Like, I know my wife's grandmother. Like, my wife's grandmother made like a bunch of money buying Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Apple, and a couple other stocks over the last 10 years. Just sitting on those for 10 years. Again, that's the biggest edge you'll ever have. You're almost, if you diversify well enough. And again, diversification is key because you're going to have some stuff that fails. That's why the S&P 500 is such a useful thing. It's because it does the diversification for you. But you buy the S&P 500, you sit on it, and you sit on it for years and years. And it's going to keep up with inflation for the most part. And again, y'all check out TopStep, man. TopStep's super useful. This is what we're going to be trading on today. What you're going to see me day trading on is the S&P 500, which you can day trade with no restriction in the futures market. And again, if you want an introductory to that, check out TopStep. TopStep funds traders. They test your skill, and it's a beautiful way to build your trading. Them testing you genuinely builds your skill as a trader. Learning how to trade under pressure and following rules is going to build you into a better trader most of the time. And I think most people are going to fail. And so if you pass their testing, they fund you between 50 to 150K. Legitimate funding, regulated by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Once you're funded, I'm pretty sure. They pay out millions, fund thousands of traders a year. And they pay out millions in actual withdrawals. And I think it's difficult to get funded. It's not easy, but I think it's going to build your skill, and it's cheap. And so if you lose that, you're still learning how to trade, but it's not like losing with real money where you're down thousands. So it's like 130 something a month. If you want to check it out, here's the link. Again, great way to help support your boy here in the channel. You get 20% off if you use my link here. So check it out. Yeah, we got home sales at 10 o'clock in about 90 minutes. I don't think it's going to affect the market that much, triple. Yeah, Microsoft, speaking of Microsoft up to 275s right now, just ripped up. Them getting that front load into the AI market. Bill Ackman said, quote, the Fed should pause on Wednesday. We have had a number of major shocks to the system. 3 U.S. bank closures in a week, wiping out equity and bonds, the demise of Credit Suisse, and the zeroing of its junior bondholders, notably bondholders bearing losses, and a new phenomenon as they were protected in the GFC. First Republic depositors that haven't left already will not be comforted by today's stock price performance. This banking crisis remains unresolved, and the higher rates won't help. We don't know yet where the losses are for investors in these institutions and what the contagion effects may be. Deposits have become unstable. What regional bank is going to commit meaningful capital to a new construction or business loan? In this context, the effect of the above is a meaningful tightening of financial conditions that has not yet been visible in light of the rapidly unfolding events of the last 2 weeks. Inflation is still a problem, and the Fed needs to continue to show resolve. Powell can do this by pausing and making very clear that this is a temporary pause so that the impact of recent events can be assessed. He can make clear his intent to resume raising rates at the next meeting until the banking crisis remains unresolved and has on its own sufficiently slowed the economy. Again, this is all quoting from Bill Ackman's Twitter. He said, quote, I continue to believe that the best course of action is to temporary FDIC gov deposit guarantee until an updated insurance regime is introduced. For if bank number 5 is closed, the market's attention will move to bank 6, 7, and 8. Unfortunately, the data on every bank asset, liability, and deposit are publicly available, and the stock market has been a perfect indicator of who comes next. This is not an environment into which the Fed should be raising rates and adding additional pressure on the system. So end quote. And again, that's all from Bill Ackman. And let me know if you agree with him or not. Do you think no rate hike? Do you think a pause in rate hikes is the best move right now? Let me know. I use Quant Tower, Ephraim. So I use Quant Tower, but it varies, bro. Market very flat ahead of the open. Issue raise 25. Yeah, I think 25 is the most likely outcome. I wouldn't be mad if they do 0 though, but I think 0 is going to cause inflation risks. I'm not sure random. They might, man. I don't know. I would check with Top Step. Are you bullish on this open? I think we might be a little extended on the upside, so I think we might have like a temporary pullback at least. But maybe we do like a red to green move. But again, I'm not 100% in that regard. Just don't know. Tesla just tapped 188 here. Tomorrow only FOMC. Well, we got the Fed rate hike decision and press conference from it. Today we got GameStop earnings this evening. All right, market's testing the top of the range again, the highs again. And this is mostly driven by Tesla and Microsoft right now. Tesla all the way up to 188s. Microsoft up to 275s right now. So 275s for Microsoft. Tesla at 188s here. So big rebounds. SPY testing the highs of 397s. Because I mean, people can figure that out, Matt. It's kind of unnecessary. It's just kind of, not. It's not a waste of time. It's just something that people can figure. People already know how to set up their Top Step account. Like, it's not a super difficult process, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff already out from Top Step itself on how to do that. Yeah, they're not going to do 50, Adam. 50 is not even. That's just never going to happen, bro. Dude, the Fed doing 50 basis points right now with all these banking problems would be like throwing a match on gasoline. Like, they're never going to do 50, man. Never. Like, people might want 50 for inflation to go down, but they're never going to do 50, bro. Again, maybe I'm wrong. I guess it could happen. If they do 50, it's a terrible mistake. Yeah, it could happen, but it would be a terrible decision, to be honest. Like, it could, but it's just not. I don't think it's going to happen. They could, but again, it'd just be a bad decision, man. Again, y'all hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. CME Group predicts 25. I think Goldman Sachs thinks we're going to do 0. I think it is either going to be 0 or 25. I think it's going to be 0 or 25, but who knows, man. Hopefully it's, I don't know. I can see it either way. Hopefully it's not 50. I think 0 is going to give us the best reaction. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, so I think a pause makes sense. Yeah, but Wes says banks aren't doing their jobs correctly. We shouldn't have to suffer with higher inflation for their horrible decisions. Yeah, but regardless of inflationary impact on quality of life, I think that you're going to have a much worse time with people's pensions going up in smoke because of bank failures from being too aggressive with rate hikes short term. I think pausing right now makes sense. I think we could say, hey, well, we should just continue to raise rates aggressively. That's going to spiral a domino effect in banking, which is going to trickle into everything else, and that's going to cause a crash if we do that. And I get it. That's some people might want that, but again, that's what's going to happen. If we are too aggressive with rate hikes short term, more banks are going to fail. It's going to trickle into everything else. That's why Bill Ackman is pushing for a pause, because he understands it's going to wipe out some stuff if not. All right, market's now pulling back, still at 397. Market's been very flat leading into the opening bell. We got about 11 minutes left, but the market's just been sideways. Microsoft finally starting to pull back. Tesla pulling back as well. SPY right around 397s. Jim Cramer like Credit Suisse dip buy. All right, guys, we're pulling back a little bit. Again, we'll see if we bounce some now. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Bad bank planning. Well, they probably already got wireless headphone charging, I'm guessing, but finally dipping down a little bit more here. All right, still dipping down some here. Yeah, well, the SPY hit 400 today. Let me know. Yeah, let me know if the market, if you think the SPY is going to hit 400. All right, so again, it's Tuesday. Tomorrow we got the rate hike, which would be really interesting, to be honest. Tesla back up to 188. So let's see if the SPY bounces. I might buy a little bit short term. Oh, wait, this is a practice account. Damn. All right, let me close this and switch to a regular account. There we go. All right, so we bought one contract. We're going to go to buy two and see if we catch a little pop. We got about 7 minutes until the open. We're just going to look for a little range move up ahead of the opening bell. The reason for this is I see Tesla rebounding a little bit. I might be wildly wrong. Don't copy me. I see Microsoft bouncing back a little bit too. Yeah, there's the pop. Nice. We got a quick little bounce back already here. We're going to give this time to work, though. Into contracts. Got a nice little cushion. See, Microsoft just dips pretty fast. Tesla still ripping up over 188. See if it drags everything else up with it. Fed decisions at 2 p.m. on the dot, Brent, tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. I am using Quant Tower with a funded account program. So I'm using Top Step. And again, Top Step is a funded program in futures where they give you a demo and then they test your skill. And then if you can pass their testing, so they give you a profit target. The base one's like a 50K. So they give you a 50K demo. If you can hit 3K in profit on that 50K demo without losing over like 2,000 total or $1,000 a day, that they genuinely fund you 50 grand with a 90% split. And again, I think most people are going to lose these challenges, but I think these challenges build your skill. And I think if people put up the money themselves and traded the same way, they would lose much more. And so it's a lower barrier of entry that allows people to test their skill without taking on a lot of risk. And I think that's incredibly useful. I think most new traders fail. And so this gives new traders a way to test their skill without losing thousands of dollars, essentially. I think it's incredibly useful, but they are a sponsor of mine. And again, my Thinkorswim account right now has $160,000 in buying power, roughly, give or take, about 160K in BP right now. So I don't need to get funded on Top Step. But I think it's still very, very useful and it helps build skill. But if you want to check it out, there's a link. Quant Tower, QUANTOWER, Quant Tower. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Top Step giveaway sometime soon. You want to do one sometime soon? Let me know the best day for it. We'll do a giveaway. All right, so we're flat on the trade here. The opening bell's in 4 minutes, a little bit less than that. All right, again, flat here. Microsoft looks to be a little bit better, and Tesla just broke highs, got up to 188.30. Hopefully this drags the market up. Again, that's kind of the plan here. I don't know if one's better than the other. I think it's just preference, Lenny. Tesla ripping up. Again, the question is, do I cut this ahead of the open? I don't know. Like I said, I really don't know. Do I cut this ahead of the open or do I sit? Bro, so they pulled my tooth and they put a bone graft in. I can feel this little piece of paper that's attached to my tooth. It's come unhinged at one point and it's flapping around in here. And I want to just rip it out, but I shouldn't. I think it's called all right, so we're starting to push up a little bit. I do want to take profit fast here if I can. All right, guys, we got about a minute and a half. There we go. All right, we just took half off at the top. That'll protect the trade a little bit more. Got a little bit of a cushion now. We can let the rest work into the opening bell now. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cut this ahead of the opening bell. All right, so we just made about 15 bucks ahead of the opening bell. Not bad, but again, you can kind of see what we're watching here. We're watching Tesla, we're watching Microsoft, two of the biggest influencers over the market today, and we're using those to gauge what we want to do with buying the E-mini, which is just the S&P 500 futures contract. It works, you know. Can't guarantee it's gonna work for you, but man, look at that pop. Missed out on a little bit of green ahead of the open, but it's all good. 20 seconds left until the opening bell, guys. Good luck. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. There's the open. A little bit of green action in the opening bell. Big pump ups leading into all this. Big green action pumping up. Maybe I should have had a little bit. Microsoft dipping down some, though. So Microsoft might be weighing in on the market. And Microsoft's a little green here. But yeah, definitely getting green action. So it looks like I was wrong about the opening bell. We are just getting straight bull action right now. Market pumping up all the way over 4,000 on the E-mini. SPY at 398, almost 398 here on the SPY. So looking very strong. Tesla up to 189.50s right now. Microsoft at 274. So big price action going into the opening bell. Look at that strength here. Will we hit 400 today, guys? Let me know. Will we hit 400? Again, we're a little bit too extended on the upside for me to really necessarily want to buy this here. Yeah, I'm going to wait for a pullback. Tesla just dipped down to 189s here. Market's very green. Still pumping up. Microsoft rebounding here, so that might even give us more strength right now. Yeah, Tesla just broke highs again. SPY tap 398s. Vom, his name is Shadow Trades, is what his name is. It's just hard to read. Yeah, green action. Again, I thought we might pull back at the opening bell, but looks like I was wrong. Market just ripped up. All right, now finally getting a dip here. I'm going to buy into the pullback with one contract to start it off. See if we get an immediate insta bounce. If not, we'll add a little bit more on the dip. Microsoft looking kind of weak here, but it's already so strong in the morning that it didn't matter here. Well, we got to immediately bounce back. I didn't really get to scale into any sizable position here, unfortunately. But green is good, I guess. So we'll go ahead and take this immediate bounce and then maybe add some back on the pullback. Tesla kind of dipping down a little bit too. I don't know what I would think about this. I think we might dip down some more now. Maybe wrong, but yeah, I think we might pull back a little bit. Or no, never mind. Microsoft's starting to test 275s. So we'll have to see if that does like a red to green move at 275 level. All right, we're gonna buy the dip again now, and then add to it if we do get that pullback that we're looking for. Just because Tesla bounced up a little bit. I wanted to add some more to this, but we just didn't get that chance to. We got a little cushion on the day so far. Ow, weren't you calling bear stuff this morning, though? Maybe I'm wrong. I can always check the chat history, but I thought you were a bear. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, there's the dip that we want. We're going to start adding to this and using the cushion that we have on the day to try to run it forward, flying up there. All right, so there's 3 contracts here. We'll get up to 4. We're trying to take a little bit larger swings. Tesla started to test highs, though. I don't want to stay in this forever. And again, the only reason I'm taking the trade here. All right, there's 4. And we're going to leave it at that. The only reason I'm taking this trade is because we're already green enough on the day so we can take the justified risk. But we're not going to hold this forever either. All right, about flat now on this trade. Slightly green now. That's nice. Huge green action. I could take some off here. I'd like to let this work a little bit, though. All right, again, green at flat again on the day. The only problem that I see here is that Microsoft's starting to break down. So right at my neutral spot. It's taking a little bit too long. Again, we're about flat on the day now. Like I said, we're already green heading into this trade. And I want to give it time to rip back up, but the more it consolidates here, the less I like it. So we're about flat still, but I'm going to start to be a little bit more careful here. I've never tried the flatten button. I might try this. All right, there goes Tesla with a big resurgence back up to 189.50s. Let's see if the market follows it. Again, we're pretty flat on the day. We're actually a little bit green on the day most of the time here. We're kind of chopping back. Does the flatten button use market orders? What's breaking the market out is Microsoft currently. Yeah, we'll short if we start to break down. We're too little high. We're a little too high up for now for me to want to short it. I'm just kind of sitting patiently here. If we start cracking under this low, then we'll cut it and we'll reevaluate. But as long as we can hold over this level, then we'll be okay. Yeah, we're still holding over that level here, which is the only reason we didn't cut that just now. But it's getting kind of close here. We're trying to be patient. We're watching Microsoft here, really, because like Microsoft is such a big influence over stocks, and Microsoft has been what's causing the bear action. We're also watching Tesla to see how these influence stuff. But again, pretty flat day with this trade included. We're green a little bit into this trade, and now we're kind of sitting on this. I cut it. I like the flatten button. The flatten button is actually really nice. And maybe we rebound all the way back up and it fakes me out. But if it does, we're choppy anyway. You know, there's not really big edge attacking the upside. The reason I cut it just now is Microsoft cracked under lows. We're down like 25 bucks or something. Tesla actually started to head back up here. So I might rebuy if it looks good enough, just based off of Tesla and some of these strength. We'll go ahead and buy back here. I see Tesla starting to scoot up. We've been very small trades so far. I think we're right around the VWAP, so maybe I can be patient. Maybe there's an argument for it, but remember, we did call weakness at the open today. We said we might pull back a little bit at the open. It looks like that's what we're getting so far, I guess. And this trade that I'm in right now is a little bit longer term, but if we start cracking lows, I will cut it. The plan is if we get into the profit to let it run a little bit more. And there we go. All right, so we bounce back up some. Tesla breaking highs. Microsoft starting to reel back up some, so that's good. What I don't want is another choppy sideways day. Yesterday was choppy most of the day. When I look back at the price action yesterday, I was glad I cut it when I did yesterday because it was just choppy and neutral day. So again, my plan is to let this work a little bit more. We will take one off there. So we just locked in a little bit of profit. And then I'll let the last contract work a little bit more. See if we can push up even more. Maybe think about adding to it again if it starts to break highs and pull back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And then, all right, so I'm break even, completely flat on the day, basically. We pull back a little bit here. I will add some back to this. All right, so we just added one contract. We got two now. We're not going to add any more to this. Going to see if we can quickly rebound here because Microsoft's right at the VWAP. Yeah, that definitely doesn't look good though. So getting stuck in chop. Once we exit this trade, we're going to wait until the range breaks because the market's just too flat. We also have existing home sales today, guys. So remember, we do have existing home sales. I don't know how much. I don't think it's going to influence the market a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a big dump anymore. We're actually completely flat on the day as we speak. You know, and that kind of tunes a lot of the stuff out. So here's the price action on the day right now. So we went up, we went down, we went back up, and now we're going back down. So yeah, we're gonna cut this. This looks too weak. And we'll wait now. We're down like 20 bucks, 25 bucks right now. But the range is just chopping us out. Tesla actually looks pretty strong. Tesla's all the way back up to 191 right now. So Tesla looks good. Microsoft's been kind of way in the market down. Ford has been pretty strong too. It's holding at 1150 over the volume weighted average price. We've got Apple. Apple looks like the SPY basically right now. If you guys have any other large caps to watch that you think are relevant, let me know. But Microsoft is kind of weighing the market, it looks like. Very flat market. Market moved up, moved down, moved back up. We're slightly red on the day, but a little bit too early. All right, moving back up. Again, I got to wait for this choppiness to play out, in all honesty, because this is just boring. Again, I'm watching Microsoft. The key stock I'm watching right now is Microsoft and Tesla. Tesla ripping up over 191. So Tesla's pulling the market up. Microsoft's pulling the market down at the open, that is. Yeah, what's up, Roderick? Flat, boring team. Market's starting to look better. Again, Tesla's kind of pulling the market up at 191.50. It's just tapped highs. Pull it back a little bit now. Microsoft looks weak, though. So we got this daily range here, team. We're slightly green from the opening bell. So any bears trying to act like we're super bearish currently, you know, we're not. The opening bell looks like this here. So this is the opening candle. So we're actually green from this. This is the opening range that we have so far. So very sideways as we speak. And maybe we'll get something better that sets us up a little bit nicer. But for now, we're just neutral. Hey, thank you, Roderick. And if we do go bear, I will short the market. You know, I really don't mind shorting. I like shorting the market. I actually do better day trading shorting, which is kind of funny when people call me a perma bull, because it's like when I'm day trading, most of the time when I make money, it's on the short side. You can defeat most of your competition by simply not quitting 100%. All right, there's some bear action. Now we will get ready to short this. We tested the bottom of the range, and now we're bouncing back up. Again, what's going on right now is Microsoft's testing lows. And we're right back up to where we were. Fill the gap down there. This actually seems like an okay short now, though. So we'll short this. 2 contracts. See if we can move back down. Tesla's kind of the kink in the chain, though, on the short side, because Tesla is just being very strong today. Tesla bouncing back up. I'm about flat on this trade so far. Microsoft's starting to fall down too. Microsoft's more heavily weighted than Tesla is in terms of the S&P and the E-mini here, but Tesla's stronger than Microsoft right now for sure. Bigger moves. Slightly green, but not really exciting enough here, and it could change very fast. Yeah, Tesla's starting to creep up to test these highs again. I'm gonna have to cut this now. Just too much sideways action. We're down like 40, 45 bucks or so. We really got to just not do anything now. I'm glad we've lost less than $50. Getting stuck in that opening 20-25 minutes of chop, which is what we've been in. So honestly, it's worse than zero, but better than losing more. And it's going to happen to everybody. It's inevitable. We're all going to get stuck in choppiness sometimes. But yeah, it's just not an easy market right now. Just really sideways action. I would say it's slightly bearish. It's certainly trending down on a very slight level. It looks like this faked me out a little bit too. Yeah, Ford was ripping up this morning snow for sure. Looks like I should follow my opening thesis, which is that we would pull back a little bit at the opening bell. See, Tesla's right at the high of the day, though. That's what's dragging the market up here. Microsoft's right at the low of the day. All right, guys, just kind of sitting back, seeing what the market's going to do. Microsoft looks like it wants to crack under lows. Oh, wait, we got existing home sales in 7 minutes, guys. Remember, we do have existing home sales in 7 minutes. Tesla's rebounding a little bit. Tesla starting to break high, so again, squeeze market here. Tesla, and again, a lot of you have to understand like the rate hike decisions tomorrow. So a lot of this is going to be neutral and boring action ahead of this rate hike decision. You know, and that's all right. You know what happens. Market looks to be bouncing back here. Yeah, what's bouncing back? Is it Google? But yeah, market started to rebound big here. So we did a red to green move. We saw the red to green move. Tesla testing highs again. Market actually looks strong, so it looks like a lot of people are optimistic, I guess. Yeah, we stopped trading as much. Market is just staying in a choppy trend. Starts to look good though, but I think we're just rangy. See what Microsoft does, Tesla does. FRC, what's FRC doing? Is it leading the market? Got a little upwick here. Let's see if we start to get a pullback here, but JP Morgan grinding up all morning. Yeah, banks. Maybe it's some optimism in banks. Maybe renewed optimism there. Google currently at 103s. Yeah, banks have been rebounding here. JP Morgan. Again, there's just too much chop. Yeah, so we're just kind of in too much chop. We're just too rangy. The market's sideways. Get ahead of the rate hike decision tomorrow. This is going to be the biggest influence over everything. Tesla up to 191s. JP Morgan looking strong too today. So just having huge rebounds here. See if everything else keeps rising. All right, so we just got new home sales just dropped here, guys. So new home sales data just came out. Let's go ahead and cover it. New home sales came out at, let's see what it showed. Our existing home sales came in higher than expected at 4.58 million versus 4.19 million expected. The percentage came in at 14.5% versus 5% expected. So very optimistic, positive data here for new home sales. And the market's loving it right now. The market's popping up on this. Banks just broke highs. Market's ripping up over highs, though. Just broke the range high, still moving up. Market just broke big highs again. Huge pop. So we might start playing some of this volatility now if we can get something good for it. Try to buy this little pullback here if we get it. Apple looking good. A lot of stuff looks strong here. We're not going to buy it at the high break. We need a pullback. Yeah, existing home sales data came out. Again, we covered it already. We will put this up on screen so you can check it out. All right, so there's the pullback. We will buy this dip into the previous range level. Here's 2 contracts. Slightly red on this one. Give it time to bounce back. Yeah, if we don't bounce back here, I'm probably just going to step away. There's just no edge in the market today. Big moves up, big moves down, just boring. So, and then we tried. I just don't know if pushing super heavy into this is the right move. I think you got to just kind of walk away sometimes when it's not going the best, and it happens, you know, no worries if not. All right, well, we're starting to get closer to break even here. Let it tap that for a split second. The market is very sideways here. I'm probably just going to cut this. It's just not really big edge day, man. We pushed and pushed, but all right, we'll start to look a little bit better, but yeah, that is not good. Whatever just happened did not look good. So yeah, we just cut that. No edge today. tomorrow will be interesting. Tomorrow we got the rate hike decision. We also have GameStop earnings today, but I don't know how much that's going to influence the market. But yeah, not my good day. Luckily, it's relatively small. Yeah, I don't know what just happened there. But again, guys, it's all good. Like I said, I'm gonna take a step away. I just don't see much of an edge right now. At least in the first 35 minutes of the market trading, it's just kind of up and down, which is all right. Like I said, it happens. Yeah, GameStop will be crazy later. We'll see what happens later. We will stream the GameStop earnings. But before we go, like I said, guys, check out TopStep. TopStep is the easiest way to test your skill. You put up money. You put up like $130. They test your skill. They see if you're ready to trade. If you could pass their testing, then they fund you between 50 to 150K. The real edge in this is that it allows you to test your skill without taking on a lot of risk. So you can test your skill without taking on a bunch of risk. And that is a really big part of TopStep. It's that you can learn how to trade. Most new traders fail, but trading is about learning how to perform under pressure. And the benefit of TopStep is that it gives you that pressure without necessarily giving you all the risk that comes with it. It still gives you some risk. Like, you still don't want to lose. You still have to learn how to perform under pressure, but it's not the full extent of losing thousands of dollars like you would in a regular account. And so in that regard, TopStep is the most legit futures funded program in the world. It's the easiest way to test your skill. And, you know, a lot of traders are going to have a better edge trying out a funded account program first than they are putting up 10 or 15K themselves in futures and risking that. And again, so it just makes a lot of sense for traders. It gives them a cheaper entry, cheaper way to learn how to trade. Here's the link. You can check them out there if you want to help support the channel. You get 20% off. Also, guys, check out Chart Prime. Chart Prime is a trading view indicator service that ultimately gives you reversal signals. It shows you support and resistance line. It gives you candlestick identifiers, all that good stuff here. And it's just incredibly powerful. Okay. So like, let's look at today's Chart Prime data. Let's look at today's Chart Prime data. So far today, they've only given us one alert signal, right? They've only given us one alert signal here, but you can see their one alert signal that they gave us was wildly accurate. Again, this is a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor, but like, you can just kind of see here, look, they gave you bearish engulfing and reversal signal. Look at the drops you get over literally 30 minutes of price action. You get drops after that reversal signal. And again, they are a sponsor of mine, so I can't guarantee you're going to make money here. But again, just look at this. Look, reversal up, bounce. Reversal down, drop. Bearish engulfing candle. We get a drop here. And so you can use candlestick. The real edge is finding multiple showing up together at once, right? So you find multiple showing up together at once. Look, another very top. They're really good at calling the tops here. Multiple showing up together at once right there, and you get a nice drop over like a 15-minute period. And you can use them on any time frame too. This is just a small piece of what they offer. So like, here's an hourly chart. So here's an hourly chart, and let's go to the most recent price action here and look at what they've done. So again, looking at this, this is an hourly chart. The latest signal they gave on the hourly chart was right here, reversal up, and then look, over literal days of price action, you get bullish movement. Over literal days, you get bullish movement. Same thing here, bearish engulfing candle, drop. And this is hourly chart. Again, it's called Chart Prime. They also have chart patterns. So if I put this up, I can put up the chart pattern aspect. So they'll show you actual chart patterns, wedges, like look at that. It'll show you trend lines, all that cool stuff here. Look at this, reversal up, bounce, reversal down, drop, reversal down, drop, reversal up, bounce. And again, I can't fake what I'm showing you. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. They're a sponsor of mine, but incredibly useful as well. It's called Chart Prime. Check it out. It's only $35 a month. They're a sponsor of mine though. But yeah, if you want to check them out, here is the link. Great way to help support the channel and support your boy here. We'll post the link right here. Great way to help support us. Yeah, guys, that is it for today's stream here. We will be back later on. GameStop does have earnings, so we will be back later on. So I love you all. Y'all be safe in this market. Again, it's choppy, sideways, neutral. I think we got a politician speaking as well today. So that's something to pay attention to. But yeah, guys, with that said, it's all love here. We'll see you guys later. Good luck. We'll see you guys back for GameStop earnings later this evening. FRC halted down.